Greetings. Once again, you join the brave or foolhardy heroes that strive to free Barovia of its evil or simply for escape. Last time, they'd been concealing or taking further steps to conceal their combat with Ezek, as well as stashing him in a safe place. Taking care of his horse, which Greila saw to personally, and just trying to cover for the rest of the team back at the manor on the fronts of Crack and Siguror. Meanwhile, Sasha, Ismark, and Irina were making preparations for the future, which led two of the three to an encounter with a ferocious saber-toothed tiger being antagonized by a couple of local noble children. With some quick thinking, despite the children fleeing and catching the attention of the rest of the town, which was almost the end of it, before Sasha tried to make sure that everything was cool with the tiger and inadvertently agitated it. But with his quick thinking, he was able to hold it at bay with illusionary magic while Ismark ran for help. And while the town was whipped into a bit of a tizzy over this alleged beast, Sasha was capable, or rather successful, with a little bit of help from Greila, if I'm not mistaken, to convince the town guard that it was just a larger than average house pet. An exotic one, but not of the saber-tooth variety. Barring opening statements from the other players, we'll pick up where we last left off, with the town's guard dispersing and getting back to festival preparations, and the group able to do as they will.
So I actually realized we made a horrible mistake. If we didn't interfere with the saber-tooth tiger at all and just let the Watcher children got eaten, it would have eaten the rich.
Yeah.
We're part of the problem.
But we don't know that the Watcher children are specifically evil. We just know that they're... Yeah, I agree with you out of character, but...
Well,
Could have eaten the
you know
rich.
they're a family that supports Strahd.
That's what we've been...
The Baron
okay.
says.
If you believe the Baron.
Yeah, but I don't believe the Baron.
Well,
Almost everything he says is what...
if I'm remembering correctly, I think the camp that we went to mentioned... Did they talk about the Watchers at all?
No.
I don't think they did.
Okay.
Barring comments in the comment section.
I
proving me
just
wrong.
wanted to make a eat the rich joke. It's not really serious.
I mean, we could still... Well, I mean, you could offer that to people, but I don't know how cool they'd be with that.
After the town's guard has dispersed, or they're mostly gone, Irina meets back up with you and Ismark. Van Richten is making a little taking some extra precautions with his wagon, so he's not like right with you at the moment. Irina says, "I was able to get the clothes, but they didn't have the other thing you were looking for," and she hands you back your money pouch.
How much?
You were down 45 gold.
That's some
fancy
ass
clothing?
clothes.
I will look at my money pouch and I will say, no offense or anything, but that seems a bit pricey for clothing.
It does, but I was told they don't get imports very often, and that I would have to go elsewhere if I didn't like it.
Holy
Sasha is...
If there's a chance, I'll pay you back.
No, it's fine. I just... Sasha's gonna do his best to not look upset at this turn of events. I don't know if you want me to roll something.
Ismark comments, "They had better be damn good clothing. I can't imagine even our father having spent that much on his finest outfits.
It is...
Import is rare in this land, but that rare."
take advantage of out-of-towners. I thought they would try the same with me, but I was hoping Hipperovian would have more luck. Apparently, I was mistaken.
What is Greila doing right now?
I don't know. My initial quest of stealing the horse and making it look like another horse is complete, so I'll just stick around.
Why don't we get quest experience for that, David? Stealing is this horse?
I'll think about it.
Anyway, that's just because we've been ripped off a bunch and Isaac isn't using the horse.
You do have a new horse.
Yeah.
So that's
but we still only have 3 horses, so you know what we need? A
Another
horse.
Anyway, I'll stick around with them for now, I guess, because I don't have anything else I specifically need to do at the moment. Okay.
Crack is currently hidden.
Yep.
What will Crack be doing?
Just listening and watching.
Okay, you listen, you watch. Some of the guards pass near the barrel that you're hidden in, and you overhear one of them muttering, "This is the last thing we need on festival day." Well, luckily it's over now. And then some more murmuring. Eventually, there's another, because a bunch of them pass by, and they're fragments of conversation. Though there's another part that you catch that's a little more distinct, where someone's saying, "Thank goodness, that's resolved. We wouldn't want it to dampen the festival." Yes, right. Wouldn't want it to dampen the festival. And variations. They're all thinking about the festival of the blazing sun.
What was it you need? You need a
Glass eye focus.
Just like a crystal ball thing? Or
No,
crystal orb?
it's a specific costly material component for the spell clairvoyance. It costs 100 gold.
What is Siguror doing?
But could a glass blower make it?
Well, noticing that
Perhaps.
I guess everything is dealt with, walking up to the group, still looking around, see if I can spot Crack anywhere. He fucking dipped.
As you start moving, some of the guards tactfully try to give you a little bit of space. Some of them, you believe some of them remember your confrontation with Isaac the other day, and that may be why.
Great. Actually, nah, wouldn't be looking at it that hard. No reason to. Yeah. So has the problem been solved?
This problem for now. I still have things to do before the festival. In case we need to leave immediately, I would like to go see Victor again.
There does seem to be another issue to come up.
What?
Something amongst my personal affairs has turned up missing. I do not know about others and their belongings.
Do you think that man stole it?
I am looking. All I know is I cannot leave town till it is found. Or woman.
But we need to leave
Yeah.
after the festival. We have duties that require us to go elsewhere. We made a promise to the innkeeper.
Leaving and not coming back. There is another thing. The Baron has informed me of what is expected of the guest of honor.
What was that?
During the festival, while everything is either at its apex or winding down, when they do burn their effigy, you are to make a speech about how great the festival has been, how strong their resolve is, and that it has worked, and that it has beaten back the evil of Strahd, and he will never set foot in this town.
Well, I have no speech maker. You might be disappointed.
It should probably just be best to let you know.
Also, well, I won't say that. You have no.
I also must speak with Octavia about what we found in the camp.
You need to speak to somebody that knows everybody in town, or at least can recognize faces, or sees a lot every day.
Ismark asks, Greila, is something wrong?
Not in particular.
It seemed like you were about to say something.
I was just thinking.
Very well.
On a positive note, it seems like our events last night have gone unnoticed.
Yes, I will speak to Octavio about this as well. Greila, can you go with, can you take Ismark Irina, go with Crack and see if you can find his horn? Or, did I say Ismark Irina, go with Siguror? Sorry,
Yeah.
go with Siguror and see if you can find his horn. I will, see, Sasha doesn't know that Crack isn't there. He assumes that it is. He says, I will take Crack, go speak to Octavio, and then hopefully he will accompany me on my meeting with Victor, just in case something should happen.
Octavio, at this point, comes back and says, not to pry, but I believe I heard my name. And thank you for the assistance.
In this nutshell.
Yeah.
But we do have something to discuss. Somewhere away from prying ears.
Well, hopefully something interesting. I am always looking for new attractions for my shows, you see, and travelers are invaluable to that.
Yes. I will turn and I will say, come, Crack. Now, the thing is, Sasha doesn't realize that Crack isn't there. Maybe he just looks weird.
When he says that,
I should know, as he turns, each of his tiny servants, turns in step and, basically marches behind him.
Oh, you're letting them walk on the ground?
Yeah, of course. If anyone says anything.
No, I thought they had, low-ass movement speed for some reason.
No, not only do they have 30-foot movement speed, they have a 30-foot climb speed.
They're faster than a dwarf.
And then they can climb up walls.
Could I get a reminder when... I forget exactly when you cast Tiny Servants.
Basically, right after all the guards had left. At the end of the session.
Okay, but it was last session after the guards.
Yes, after the guards had left, I cast Tiny Servant. Yeah, they have a 30-foot move and 30-foot climb. They can climb up walls. You know?
And
Fuck you,
I want Tiny
dwarves.
Servants. They're so great.
you turn Tiny Servant's turn. Irina just happens to notice them and goes, "Oh, how cute!"
Yes, they are my creations.
Oh.
Not all magic is used to burn and destroy things. Sometimes it is used to give life to the lifeless. And I don't necessarily mean like how Greila does it either. It's the animation, and I'm going to pick up, probably not Knife Guy. He's kind of threatening looking. I will pick up Forkford and show him off, and Forkford will flex. I'll be like, "Argh." Just making weird noises and show off, and then I'll put him back down.
Brave dish
It's
noises.
almost like something out of a fairy tale.
Exactly. Fairy tale magicians are where I first heard the art as well. My mother would tell me of the great women of our clan, like Madame Eva. It is said that they can see the future, although we have all seen it for ourselves.
She does not seem to be from a fairy tale.
She is quite real.
Ismark nods. Octavio nods. And the camera kind of lingers on him, and there's this special weight with his nod. A weight that speaks volumes as he says, "Yes.
Camera.
Yes. Very much so." But anyway, if you said you had something to speak with me about, then
Yes.
very well.
I hope you can find your horn, and perhaps you should see if anyone has seen that man from last night.
That
Or
is
knows
the
who
first
he
suspect.
might work for. He might, if he's not one of the Baron's men, then I would look for anyone else in the city who has money to hire men. Perhaps the Watchers, or if there's another rich family.
And a man with a fresh bruise upon their head.
I kind of missed what you said. I was like,
Sasha's basically saying he might be some sort of servant of a rich person. So if he doesn't work for the Baron
this is the guy
or
who
for
stole
Isaac, he might work with the guy who was
the assassin.
the
That's
assassin.
what I'm assuming stole it.
He could work for Strahd. He could work for fucking Isaac. But it's also possible that he works for the Watchers or something. Because aren't they the other rich family here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone accosted you in the night?
What I looked up.
Yes, there was a man who before Isaac attacked, he
Give him his the description that I have, also mentioning he should also have a fresh bruise upon his head.
Do you still have that knife, by the way?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe Crack had pulled it off his person, but I do not know where he is gone.
Do you speak of out of character? I'm forgetting, but he uses the proper name for Crack's race. Are you speaking of that one?
Yeah,
The bird.
Are you speaking of the king?
Or the feathered one, yes.
Well then,
He was just here a moment ago.
Was he? I didn't see him.
as
He
Mark
came up
says,
with
neither did I. But I must admit, I was a little distracted coming back here.
Yes, no offense to Octavio, but your pet is quite
She's
noticeable.
she's learning. She's learning it. It just misunderstood.
Did not seem that big to me.
She could. Yeah, to you.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying in character. Doesn't seem that big to me.
Yeah, it's like fucking twice my size.
Oh, that.
Hopefully, she is safe now.
Yes, well,
We're safe now.
if either of you see Crack, tell him I'm looking for her. Come on.
And I would beware. It is more than likely that if wickedness has been dealt upon you, Strahd's hand is in it.
I'll mention to Siguror, I have a spell that might help locate your horn, but I don't have it prepared, and I can't prepare it till tomorrow.
Out of character, can I roll an Arcana check to know that scrying requires an object that a person, that is important to the person to work? Or is that just something that Sasha wouldn't think of?
I am gonna say you probably don't need a roll. As a wizard, you're probably aware that scrying exists. Maybe you didn't think about it until
specialized school as well. Being a divination
even
spell.
better. Maybe you just didn't think about it until now.
Then I will say, if Strahd is taken, it is gone. He is using it to spy upon you even as we speak. Scrying is a sort of specialized magic sensor. And then Sasha's gonna stop for a second and be like, "This is probably why the Vishtani asked me for that mirror. Now that I think about it."
Do you think so? Ismark asks.
If they work for him, there's no reason they will not give the mirror to him. Then use it to spy on us.
Out of character. Which mirror?
Oh no.
When we first met the Vishtani at Madame Ava's camp, and they asked us to trade some stuff for the horses, one of the things they asked for was an object from outside of here that we owned, and I gave them a steel mirror.
Oh.
It only occurred to me 4 sessions later when I was researching my own spells that Strahd could use that mirror to scry on us. Because for scrying to work, or to have a better chance of working, if you have an object from that person. You can also do it with someone's hair.
But that won't last as long as...
Actually, hair's better because it's connected to them. That's basically the best thing you can get as a lock of hair. But the horn would give a pretty big bonus to the scrying check as well, because it's something that's really important and personal to you.
Yeah. Only second to the sword.
If that is the case, then truly you're in dire straits indeed.
And if it is in Strahd's possession, you will not it will not be returned until we go to Castle Ravenloft.
It has not even been 10? 10? Yeah. It hasn't even been 10 hours.
The Vishtani horses are fast. And it is easier to reach Castle Ravenloft when you are not assaulted by the wolves that Strahd controls. The very land itself will move to make your travel safer and faster, just as it makes ours difficult.
If anything, that man is still going to be found, one way or another.
I will hope that you are able to catch him before he makes his escape. Though, in these dark lands, I would do my best to perhaps get my hopes up.
You could try.
Best of luck to you.
You could try asking the guards at the gate. You could try asking the guards at the gate.
He's not a downer, he's a realist.
No, I'm throwing that out over.
Oh, still from you.
Rictavio, gathers his horse, mounts up. How will you be traveling? Because Rictavio to say, if you are in need, the horse can fit too.
Get on the horse. I guess since Crack is nowhere to be seen.
Am I hearing this, by the way?
Yeah. You're like close enough that you can get it. You gotta strain a little bit, but since everybody else is gone, like there's not really ambient noise that you gotta worry about. At least not enough that you couldn't hear it.
He hears someone fucking in a house. Lady, I'm trying to eavesdrop on my allies. You not?
Rictavio and Sasha have their course. What about the two of you? And if I remember correctly, Irina and Ismark.
I mean, because the blue stream, the bar.
I believe blue water, but I will.
Oh, actually, sorry. If it's not too much to go back and change something, I will actually say, my meeting with Victor is over the craft. Perhaps you should come with us, Irina, help further your studies. If you do not mind, Ismark. It is important.
Ismark clearly looks like he minds, but Irina says, sure. And, is already going before he really says anything, so he kind of...
She should come with us, since we're going to be studying magic anyway.
Is he going to come with us then?
Blue water.
Ismark should probably still go with you.
Blue water. Okay. I'm assuming that's the only place that is, a bar here.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. The innkeeper of the blue.
Okay.
Oh, well, I think the blue water is where we're going anyway.
If you're going to speak with Rictavio, yes, because that's where he's going. So you break, and then you start going the same way.
And then what?
And you kind of remember, oh.
Yeah. Kind of forgot.
We're both going to the same place, it seems.
Yeah.
Who else would know all the faces of the town but a man who owns the bar?
I suppose that makes sense.
You could even read this as good. You're not used to Barovia yet. But depending on how much time you intend to spend here, perhaps maybe that's not a good thing.
We are still down a set of wings. Hopefully he'll show up soon.
Wings? You know he can't fly.
No, but we still have wings.
His hands. Whatever.
Talons!
No, the talons
No.
are feet. He has hands.
I thought you also had
With any luck, your comrade will catch up with you. At the very least, the inn is a good point. Rather safe, comparatively speaking. You're riding through town.
This was the safest place in Berlin.
There are
Yep.
Yep. You better believe
That's what Sasha thinks. He's not gonna say.
You better believe Ismark doesn't forget that that's what he thought.
I'm gonna follow after him. I'm gonna follow after them.
I was surprised you wouldn't try to beat us there.
How far? Are you still trying to sneak, or are you just gonna catch up behind them as they're going?
Just get a bit to the crowd.
I'll sneak stuff.
You won't stand out. You're just a bird person.
Hey, if anyone else is following us, you might spot them. So
Well,
it
then
could actually
I
be useful.
would like a
Which actually does remind me,
Well, it's
partway
not a bad
through.
idea.
Yeah. No. Which does.
Unless you roll a 1.
Well, I mean, it's 8. Yeah, my passive perception's not that low.
I don't think anyone's this.
So you are riding, and there are town guard and people that are moving about in preparation for the festival, putting out decorations, having conversations about the arrangements for later tonight, where people are supposed to be and where people are supposed to stand, which may or may not make some flapping and some tromping behind you a little more noticeable, or a lot more noticeable. There's a point where one of you looks back and you happen to see Crack doing his best. He's moving, and he's not clumsy, but
Right. It's really obvious.
if this were nighttime, he'd probably be pretty good. But it's daytime, and everybody's kind of busy, so even more, because he's kind of...
Stands out like Booster.
What?
I'm so angry, guys. Shut up, Booster.
What are you doing, Crack?
What? You see me?
Yes, we see you.
Yeah. Gotta work on my sneaking skills.
Maybe work on them another time. We definitely saw you.
Which does remind me, Crack did also mention that he saw someone watching him from outside of the house, or the Baron's home.
What the person look like, right?
I just remember the hood, right? It's awesome.
Yeah.
I just saw a guy in a hood.
There's a hooded figure and it was kind of far away.
It was far away.
And you flipped him the bird.
That's why I'm saying or try to mimic. Since I can't really speak.
I understand.
Fair enough.
You've lived as a Kanku for your whole life, communicating with other people. You can get there.
Some peace, some
Say,
conversations.
hooded man. I wonder if he's related to the man who attempted to attack us last night. Oh well. Not much we can do about it now. Other than keep our guard up.
We pull into the stables. The horses are put away and taken care of, and you are able to enter the inn. And as you enter the inn, you find that the children are, well, children. They're a little older than children. They're like young adults.
Troublemaker.
Are still there, but they're in the process of being reprimanded by an older man in like guard uniform. And you come in the middle of, enough from the both of you. You are, even with your heritage, on thin ice. This is the day of the Festival of the Blazing Sun, and nothing will disrupt it. Not even exaggerated rumors of monsters that are really house cats. But it wasn't a house cat. Are you daft? Yes, it was a giant beast, easily capable of swallowing 3 men whole in one bite.
Wow.
3 halflings.
Yeah, I think not even half.
Okay,
half and
giving them an eye over. They don't look like the guy, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Did their clothes seem similar?
No. That guy was just like kind of rough, maybe like commonish clothing. These guys are dressed like pretty nicely. Like
Okay.
definitely nobles from the look of it. It's got like some fur. There's some like fine detailing in there that looks nice and or stylish, depending on your opinions of such things. As you move like across to either talk to the innkeeper or up to Victavio's room, you hear like a little more of the conversation as the guard says, "The thing could barely swallow half a man, let alone 3. Just know that you're not going to get away with this, and if we had more time, you would be thoroughly prosecuted." You mean if you had the power? You can't do anything to us.
You guys are snotting on shit.
Noble kids.
On this day, anything can happen.
This is Irina. She's not like this.
No, but they're basically orphans at this point.
Yeah, but they became orphaned when they were like 20.
Ah,
Yeah.
she was orphaned before.
Well, but then she was unorphaned.
Look, that's not the point.
As they are assured that anything can happen on this day, Victavio moves up with you. Irina stops at the stairs and says, "Did you want to speak with him alone, or
No, you can come. It's about the Islamic camp.
Oh, okay."
Let's go talk to the barkeep.
Crack, are you coming? Okay. So now we split up, basically. Those two, Ismark. Those two, and
You send the stairs and eventually come to the room where Victavio does not drop his disguise like last time and just stays the same, and asks, "So there's something you wish to speak with me about?"
yes, your plans for the Vistani camp are unnecessary. Although one of them is
Brad.
a cruel man. Most of them are too drunk to stand. And there are children there who've done nothing.
But are they agents of Strahd?
They very well may be. But they have done no harm to anyone. They give him information. I do not think for this they need to die. And they have no choice. It's either this or be like the Barovians. It is not their fault that they have a favored eye from a tyrant.
They have more choice than you would think. I have met some who choose not to live as Strahd's weapons. And any who are willingly tools of his evil must be dealt with. You say that they are drunks.
The same as any Barovian. Useless.
How many of them are allied with Strahd?
Maybe 2. But one of them is a father of a young daughter. If he dies, she has no one. And that is a hard life. One of cruelty in a cruel land. Something they don't need.
Children does make the matter slightly more complex.
She was bound in a bag and thrown into a lake as a sacrifice to some lake god that didn't even exist. I would not have gone through the effort. Me and my allies would not have gone through the effort of saving her only to see her die.
How dire.
No matter how much of a prick her father is.
Well, I assure you, I do not intend to slay anyone who is innocent. However, if you're a tool of Strahd, you are not innocent. Children may not get to choose. It is possible for the young to be redeemed. If you're concerned about me slaying with impunity, that is not the man that I am. However, I will not stay my hand against anyone who assists the evil, should they have the ability to do not.
What of this ability? What other choice do they have?
To simply not serve him. Strahd does not shackle the Vistani in this land. In fact, he does quite the opposite.
The land shackles them. Where would they go?
Elsewhere. Surely you know that they're the only ones that can leave this cursed place. They are the most free.
They have chains, same as anyone else. They are just not, so perhaps they are not as visible. But their life, their existence, is a reflection of Strahd's.
How so?
If they were all to get up and leave, go somewhere else, they would have nothing. This is the only place they can be where they have anything. Scarcely more than the Barovians do. Do you know what their biggest concern was when I spoke to them? More wine. What do you think was the first thing we heard when we came here? More wine. What do you think the people in the other lands concern themselves? War? Wine?
I see no reason why this forbids them from settling somewhere else. Starting over would naturally be difficult, but certainly preferable to living under the thumb of a tyrant. Well, unless they were fine with doing so, or actively serving him, which is what I feared the camp was doing. It sounds like this is not completely the case.
Their leaders serve Strahd. Most of them are too useless to know any better. Will you tell them to leave after you have killed their leaders? Or will merely another leader step up? One that will serve Strahd as well?
I am not as trusting of people's incompetence as you seem to be. I'm rather suspicious that only 2 of them are of any danger at all. It sounds like you became entangled in something that may have shaded your judgment. Though, I do think that I would have done the same thing were I in your position. After all, the death of a child is if you work for evil or not. Nevertheless, I cannot let this threaten Strahd's ultimate demise. You've told me what you know, and I thank you. I may need to conduct a little more research before making a move. I also have something else that I'm looking into around here. Other potential allies, but I don't want to tip my hand too much, given this conversation may be reaching Strahd's ears.
Tasha's not going to say anything.
Your friend spoke of the festival.
Yes.
Do you intend to stay for it?
Unfortunately, if we do not stay for it, I do not believe we will be allowed back into the city. The Baron expects us to be here. So we will. But I have other things I must attend to before then.
He is quite the character to deal with.
Yes.
At the same time, y'all are moving up. The innkeeper is where he is normally. He looks and says, "Oh, welcome back. I trust that you were able to avoid being eaten by the monster." He nods his head over in the direction.
I saw the supposed monster. It was barely as big as your biggest drink. From what I saw, just because I only saw your little illusion step out.
Yes, yes. The Watcher children do have mouths on them. Is there something I can do for you?
We were looking for a man that matches this description, and I'll give him the description of the guy.
May also have a fresh bruise upon his head or face.
Yeah. He took a belonging from us last night, and we need it back.
The description sounds familiar. I think I may have seen who you're talking about, though he did not have a bruise.
Was this today, or?
Oh no, it was yesterday. One of the locals.
Yesterday was before he had the run-in with us, so that's the bruise that will be fresh.
Mm-hmm. Quite.
I think you may be talking about Havan.
Havan. You know where we could find him? Or any place he frequents?
Yes. I believe he lives with his mother and sister. Maybe a block or two down this way. However, I also think I heard something about someone leaving this morning in a bit of a hurry.
The village?
Who might that have been?
It was only a rumor, but if someone has taken something from you...
What direction do you believe they've been heading?
As I heard it, was southward, out the front gate of the city. It was rather peculiar rumor, since it's pretty tight, especially around festival days.
Out of character, is that towards Ravenloft?
Out of character, yeah, if you zoomed out on the map.
Told you.
Yeah, if he's already got the head start rushing with the horse,
I
and
did
really
say-
too much.
Greila did suggest that we should go to the gate and ask the guards. Remember? When we were back at Ritavia's wagon. But, what do you want to do, Siguror? You want to go to the gates, or do you think it's too late? The Baron won't be happy if
I assume that when he mentions this, it was like first light that the guy got away, or started going, or even before.
The rumor doesn't specify, but it would have to be quite early.
How early do the gates open?
At first dawn.
I
The
assume
gates are
that's-
closed at night.
I
What
assume that's
time is
hours.
it right now? The guy's been gone for a while, basically.
I'd say it's probably like maybe around 11, because like you woke up and you had breakfast and
Maybe
did the
3-4 hours ahead, maybe.
Maybe.
Might be able to track him down, but that'd be a multi-day thing.
Yeah, I don't think we catch him.
Like to, but
He's got far.
not without everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you could try, but yes, without everybody, it would be difficult. You would need a way of tracking him down.
We
which-
wouldn't be back
maybe
before
not.
nightfall anyway.
and you need to hope that the guards wouldn't care about the guests of honor leaving.
Yeah.
Which you can still try, obviously. But it will be difficult. You can think that over. As Octavio also asks, forgive me if I pry, but you said you also had some business with the Baron's son.
Yes, the Baron's son, Victor, is an arcanist.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm meeting with him for the exchange of magic formulae. We have a arrangement. He is attempting to develop some sort of teleportation circle spell in an effort to teleport out of Eurovia. But the teleportation circle is unfinished, and I believe he is he's not skilled enough to perform it, even if it were. Although he's a bit strong-handed, I'm not sure I will be able to convince him.
I am impressed you have been able to ally yourself with the Baron, let alone any of his family.
The son was easier to convince than you'd think. He does not like his father very much. Telling him that I would help him escape this place seemed to be all he needed to hear.
Well,
Plus, I think my being the son helps, as his father seems to have a distaste for them.
you may very well be correct. Well, it may sound a little foolish. I will wish you luck.
Thank you.
I do believe that there is an importance, a weight to your and your companion's presence here. And I would most very much not wish to see that dashed.
I'll nod.
Did you also mention to
The tales won't tell the
Strahd?
No, I didn't. But I'm not anyway.
Yeah.
The tales will not tell themselves. I will go back to my usual vocation. I will be here should you need me. Though, there are limitations to what I can do should you infuriate the Baron. Especially after the events of today.
Yes.
So?
Of course. If you need any assistance with this ally of yours, let us know. We will be leaving town shortly after the festival to help the innkeeper with his wine problem. But if there's something else we can do.
I will absolutely seek your help. But when that time comes.
Let's go meet Victor.
You were able to go back downstairs. You go and get your horse. At the same time, what are y'all doing?
I would like to have words with this man.
Which man? The guy that got away?
I would like to have more than words with him.
Oh,
I do not believe that would be in the best interest of everyone else. No matter how much this festival may not be.
you're talking about the headline guy or whatever.
The guy that's hours ahead of us. I want to have words with the phone guy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's go talk to him then. It's only a few blocks away, so it shouldn't take long.
You are heading to Havan's home.
So is it his home or is it his mother's home?
The innkeeper said he believes he lives with his mother and sister, which kind of implies that it's not his home.
Okay.
But maybe he pays for them both.
Well, I mean, in medieval times, homes were family things. They weren't like.
Yeah, it's everybody's home.
I have
Really, in a lot of places that are in America, homes are family nice. But, that's
Place-
just me being a dirty associate again.
The place is fairly easy to find. Very short trip. While you're moving, you see Sasha and Irina leave on horseback. Ismark looks and frowns and then turns back to what y'all are doing.
He's like a puppy.
And after a couple of feet unprompted, he remarks, I still feel I should have been going with her. It's not safe.
If last night is any indication, she might be becoming your protector.
Are you suggesting that I've failed to protect my sister?
No.
I am no well-traveled warrior from the north, but I am not simply some nobody.
This is not my intent. Simply that her swordplay seems to be getting better. At seemingly a rapid pace compared to when we left.
Or it could be a lucky blow.
Well,
The
Regardless
Greila
of
is
the
the hard
fact
one to impress.
I'm not the only one who trained. We both have, so it's likely a little more than luck. I just feel I should be there. I don't like being told to be separate while he goes off with her. And again, I don't like splitting up to begin with.
I think it was merely a suggestion.
Well, you're more traveled than I, so
And if anything,
I assume you operate off of wisdom that I do not have.
No.
Hey,
No.
he could have an hey,
No.
he could have a negative.
Remember,
Hey,
this is not eight.
Ismark could have a negative.
He might. Maybe.
Incredibly susceptible to pyramid schemes.
So you're saying all I have to do is sell these knives and
If I just need to sell to 3 people, and then the rest will make all the money, that sounds like a good system to me.
You're barely doing any
Ismark,
work.
no!
Yeah! No. You come to a rather rundown looking home. There's a young woman on the front porch sweeping who stops and casts a quick glance up, and despite seeing you all, seems to think that's not interesting enough, because then looks back down and continues sweeping.
I'm sorry, what was the guy's name?
Yvonne,
Yvonne?
I think.
Yes.
I think I said Havar.
Wow, my bad.
Okay. Mr. Mayor McCheese. Suppose when we get... She look older or younger?
Older. Like she's adult. And
Oh, okay, no, old lady. She doesn't look like
Oh.
a mother.
no. She could be, but she's a little young for whatever you would stereotypically assume.
Fair. Excuse me, ma'am. Would you happen to be Havar's sister?
She looks up.
Raylan rolls
Dude,
around.
I am not...
What do you want?
Merely to confirm if Havar is the man we are looking for. We had
I'm a
run-
little busy right now.
We won't take much of your time. Just, does Havar look like this? And describe whatever the person looks like.
She continues sweeping, but her pace slows a little bit. She's not interested in having this conversation, but after you describe, she kind of... Yeah, sounds like it.
Is he around?
Not making eye contact, she's still doing her thing. I don't know.
Insight? See if she's lying?
Sure.
Hmm.
Why the fuck you lying?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm actually trained in insight.
I'll roll it as
14?
well.
I think she's telling the truth. not his keeper.
What are you to him?
I'm his sister, and I'm busy. I don't have time to entertain travelers.
Our sister's a bitch. I mean, I didn't say that. I'm just joking. Alright.
Move on. There's still time before the festival. Maybe you can find somebody else to entertain you.
Your
Yes.
brother and the...
Well, under normal circumstances, maybe. But after our run-in with him, something has become... It turned up missing amongst our personal affairs. So you should be able to understand why we would like to talk to him.
Well, then maybe you should talk with him. I'm not him and I can't help you.
When last did you see him?
I don't know.
You don't know when last you saw him?
Yesterday? I don't keep track of where my brother goes. Do you?
We're trying to. You're not helping us very much.
Family is usually closer where I come from.
Well, are strangers as nosy?
No. The suspected thieves are usually dealt with immediately.
I am really restraining from trying to intimidate her.
Why?
You just scared shit out of her.
Where is he?
Not like that.
She is completely uninterested in helping you
Yeah.
and is doing her best to cut off the conversation and get back to what she's doing. If she knows any more than she says, you will have to use a different tactic or talk to someone else.
Intimidation, do it.
Does he have a special someone?
I don't know.
Okay.
Unless you roll a skill check, I don't think there's a magic question you can ask her that will make this open up.
Choose. Persuade, intimidate.
Well, normally I would enjoy you asking questions and
Yeah.
of somebody. She specifically seems to not want to talk and just do whatever she's doing. She's just gonna try to cut back around to the end conversation button. Boring.
You can hop over if you would like for meaning of time. You could probably hop over to them.
Okay, if you want some thought time, sure.
Yeah.
You ride out back to the manor.
Once we get towards the manor
Okay.
and get in the front, is there, when we step into it, what's around? Like, is anyone around? We step in the front door.
Before you step to the door,
Okay.
you notice that what appears to be Bluto, you kind of smell, hear some grunts and like some chains like outside, like chained to like some shrubbery, and then after like you dismount and are like stepping into the house, there are footsteps like before you do whatever you're gonna do, where someone comes up and you hear the voice of like the butler that's dealt with you guys so far. The return of the master and the lady. I apologize that we could not greet you for breakfast as is customary. It's a failing on our part.
It is fine. We are here to see. We are here to see Victor.
No.
He doesn't say anything about the bird man. Because I'm supposed to be.
You're so stealthy; they don't even remember you.
Well,
Would
didn't
you
tell
ate
us to stay.
breakfast there though?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
He tells
I'm
us to
with
stay.
him, right?
I thought you were with them.
Yeah. I was supposed to go with.
Yeah, I did ask her.
Well, then you weren't included in that because they did get to serve you this morning. Just, not the others.
Yeah, basically. No, I mean,
Well,
Is there anything that I can do to assist you, or anything that you would need in the meantime?
Yes, actually, we are going to speak with Victor in his room. If you could have someone bring us maybe some wine, that would be most appreciated.
We're going to talk to the Baron's son. Bring some liquor.
We shall, sir.
Thank you.
Might I forewarn that the young master is a little touchy at times.
Yes, I have seen. But we have an appointment. It should be no trouble.
Of course, you had dinner the other night, and my apologies. We will be up shortly.
And then once he leaves, if the area is clear,
you can hear people like working around the house, but the area is clear of like someone being right there.
so no one can see us.
You don't think so?
Okay, then I will say to Crack. Victor found the spellbook in the library. There might be something else of interest there. Veritas, Credo, Oculus. And I will cast invisibility on Crack and I will say, go. We will meet you after.
Was the Baron's personal library different than his main library?
Basically, I'm going to cast invisibility on him so he can rob this place.
I believe he only has one library.
And yeah, me and Irene are going to go meet Victor. It lasts for an hour, so you have some time. If there's anything else interesting in his library, I'd start there. But wherever else you want to go is cool with you.
Burn bedroom, still other jewelry.
See, you said his
whatever
main...
Crack wants to do. So I
said
just
his-
gave you invisibility and asked you to check out the library for him.
You
Whatever side quest you want to do.
You said his bedchamber, so I immediately thought you were just going to hop into their bed.
That's Crack's signature move. Make bed smell like bird.
All
You should do it.
all
He
will
probably
be
doesn't-
bird-like.
No, once we go to Strahd's coffin and take the treasure out of it, you need to hop in and be like, fuck you, Strahd.
That's so foolish.
So if we kill him and he reforms in his coffin, not only will he have the insult of being killed, but he'll be like, why does my coffin smell like bird?
It smells like bird. They've been here.
That's all ridiculous.
Also, wow, like a group of wizards that find a vampire's coffin, like high-level wizards, they can really fuck with him just by killing him, and then he wakes up to a bunch of wards
Yeah,
just ready for him.
that would be really...
That sounds really cool. It really
See, the
does.
the problem is Glyph of Warding has a material component that's consumed, but if I could reasonably get like 5 or 6 of those, I would so love to like when we go to his coffin and take the treasure, inscribe like 6 fucking explosive rooms on the inside of the coffin. So he's like, those fools, they didn't. Boom!
He found the ruins.
You and Irina ascend the steps and come to Victor's bedroom. The "all will not be well" sign still hanging on the doorknob. You knock, but there's no response.
Victor. It is Sasha. There's still no response.
Could I get a perception check?
I'm gonna use a Sahar.
Okay.
Sahar got a 22.
Sahar nuzzles the side of your face and like hoots a little low into your ear, kind of like shifts on your shoulder. Irina also remarks, I think I hear something. As you like focus a little bit, you think you hear like some distant noises, like maybe some stuff moving around, but it's like kind of far away.
Door, or?
Not behind the door, like it's farther. Since you know that there's like a room kind of behind his room, like you know, kind of far, he might be farther back.
Oh, in
But
the
like to
back
someone
room?
to someone who doesn't
Okay.
know that, be like,
That-
this sounds really far.
First, I'm going to check his door to make sure it's not magically glyphed or anything. Since I'm investigating an object, not the investigation. Like looking for rooms based on look it over to make sure there's not like an explosive rooms or an alarm.
Sounds like it
or
makes
anything
sense to
on
me.
it. Okay, then yeah, I'll roll investigation. I got a 13.
You checking it over real quick, and I am making my own double check for reasons.
How much damage does this rune do?
What would you say you got again?
I got 13.
13.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't roll too hot. Oh, but you know what? I still have I have luckies again. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I actually got a 24. One lucky down, but I really don't want to set off a magic trap and blow my fucking head off.
Inspecting it a little bit, you do find that there is totally a glyph of warding on here.
Okay, I have the Arcana skill, and you can disable magic traps with Arcana instead of Thieves' Tools. I actually found out it's Arcana for magic traps, Thieves' Tools for normal traps.
Alright.
And by magic traps, I mean specifically stuff like glyphs of warders and stuff.
Yeah.
Well then...
Yeah, isn't that's weird. But it is why Beryl's so useful, because she has expertise in Arcana and
It kind of makes
Thieves' Tools.
sense. You can't really
You can
pick a
totally do
spell.
that.
And I'm going to temporarily
I'm
disable
going
it.
to change... I'm going to change this real quick. Technically, his workroom isn't like past his bedroom. I'm just now remembering. So technically, you go up there, you don't hear anything, and I'm just going to say like it occurs to you maybe he's down there, and then you go, and then you're like, I want to be careful, and then you.
Okay.
I'm going to lucky. Oh look, here it is.
Okay.
Though Irina does ask, because you seem to have found something. She asks, "What's wrong? Is this something?"
Yes, that is a spell. It is a trap. If we were to open the door, it would probably explode in our faces. I'm going to temporarily bypass it so that we can go talk to Victor. He probably can't hear us. He's probably working on something. Working on his circle. No doubt.
Sounds like an interesting spell.
Yes. My master used to use them.
Wish we had had something like that back at the house for, well, you know. Though-
If your studies progress, I can attempt to teach it to you. I believe I still remember parts of it.
Might have made Father feel safer.
I am sorry about what happened to your father, but I know this seems unlikely, but he is in a better place now. Many places better than this place.
I certainly hope so. I think you're right. And you set to work on.
Okay. You want me to work on it?
Yeah. Now that I know that's the thing you can do.
18. Put 10 plus 8 on my Arcana check. And traps go off if you fail them by 5. So if it's an AC 20, I should at least be able to try again. I think.
You manage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'm not temporarily disabled. I don't want to like scratch it out and have it be like, what the fuck? I'm just like bypassing it temporarily.
That is easier said than done, but given your own proficiency, you manage.
Okay.
I will say, and you are able to enter and find Victor, who is in the process of once again going over some runes in the circle. Though I am going to pop over to Crack actually. So
Because we split up for
what's Crack doing?
Through us.
Oh, I guess I'll stealth the library.
Find some loot,
Okay.
baby. And remember, you have advantage because you're invisible.
Yeah.
That's why I cast invisibility.
What the fuck?
If you get
14.
caught immediately while invisible, I would be really upset.
Well, people don't get to roll perception against somebody invisible until they think someone's there, right? And then they still have to make
14.
another roll.
What'd you get?
Not
14.
necessarily.
Okay.
I think they actually just get a penalty to their passive perception, and if they actively try to perceive them, they have disadvantage.
You do your best to sneak, which proves a little more difficult than you would have thought. The house is actually rather busy, at least there's a part of it that's rather busy downstairs that you have to go through. A lot of people, they appear to be townsfolk coming in and out with more wicker or ferrying wicker out to somewhere, probably the town square, and you see a number of people that have like little, what appear to be like little child-sized outfits and like purples and grayish pinks that have like lace around them that look to be like maybe the sewing's not great. It's okay, but it's not great. And like people carrying like bundles and maybe a few people carrying like streamers and whatever. And this natural difficulty means that while you don't mean to, you do run into a couple of people. And while they are a little preoccupied, they do seem to like notice that they like hit something. One of them like looks at like a nearby stair banister and like kind of whatever. And there's another one that kind of like hits and like stumbles a little bit and then like looks and like part of the rug is knotted and they kind of okay. So while it's not the greatest, they're absent-minded enough, distracted enough that works. And then once you're able to get like on some stairs and up above, there's much less commotion. And since you guys got a tour, you remember where the library is supposed to be. It was mainly described as like a den, drawing room type area, but you remember seeing some books, and you're in. Nobody is in here at the moment.
Cool.
What you gonna do?
Look at the books.
All right.
And
See, for some reason when you were describing them carrying stuff, I was imagining Crash stuff all over. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I got 11, unfortunately.
All right. You start looking around.
Yep.
You're thinking books that are magical. Books that are magical. And you don't know if it's just you, but you're not really finding a whole lot. Like you find some books of Barovian fairy tales. One's like actually entitled Barovian Fairy Tales, and there are a couple other volumes that have like similar titles. You are finding some books that from maybe like a quick read are generic history books about the land. It's a little dry though because it's talking about agriculture here. You catch like a blurb about wine, a particular crop of wine being great compared to the rest, or at least for that
Are
year.
you sure it's not just back-to-back portraits of Strahd?
No,
Oh look, a book of the land!
the Baron probably got rid of that.
I hate this book.
He's like, no. And Strahd was just distracted enough. He's like, I won't replace it yet.
So he uses the Baron uses normal currency, right, in this land, which is the face of Strahd.
He's petty enough to be like, oh,
You
teach
don't
Irina
know.
magic, will you?
Nobody's really paid you here.
Fuck.
They haven't really bought.
But immediately fireballing sounds more fun than replacing a book.
You
Up to
also
the Baron,
find
if I can watch him flip
a
out
book
about it.
Yeah.
of macabre poetry. You find a book that has some family trees in it and some details about lineage, but not like theirs. At least they don't have the last name of Baron, but like maybe it's a distant family, who knows. But you're not finding anything that seems magical or looks magical or feels magical.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to Baron's room and all stuff there.
All right. That will put you a tiny bit in the danger zone again, but maybe roll better this time.
Maybe roll better this time.
Oh, I got different dice systems.
Should have told that to Caitlin on Saturday. Hey, maybe roll better this time.
Was it bad?
14.
You have advantage.
Oh, yeah, right.
Was
Yeah.
Caitlin's thing bad?
Yeah, you rolled really shit
Nope.
up until the end of
You
it.
rolled the same thing.
Jesus Christ.
I love those sessions.
My dice don't work.
I need to stop sucking.
Yeah.
There's nothing much you can do about random chance.
Try rolling the dice differently.
So I need to go to a copier place and make a printout.
Hey, you said you got 14?
Yeah, you got a
Okay. You're sneaking. You're sneaking in. It's all cool. And you manage to avoid like the other people, so you're like, alright. Then there's a point where you're like close, like you're in the same hallway, and you hear like from behind you like a muffled like rattle and there's someone there. You look down. You're like, maybe you didn't trim your talons or something.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as you can tell, like you're alone in the hallway.
Still doing nothing. Saying nothing.
A few moments tick by.
Huh.
And then there's like another rattle, and this time like you're standing still, so you spot it. The closet door nearest you rattles, and you hear a muffled, "Is anyone there?"
These motherfuckers
Please.
have someone locked in their closet. R. Kelly. I'm just joking.
This guy's way worse off. He's not just trapped; he's locked. I think R. Kelly. Well.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I want to say something, but at the same time, I don't want to out myself.
I mean, you could stealthily take it.
What if that's an Indian, like a fucking vampire?
Just the day.
Well,
There's no
But
day
yeah,
here.
right, you're invisible.
Also, there's no day here.
I remembered as soon as I said it.
Can I stealthily unlock it? Or see about traps entry first?
okay, you could do that.
Fucking Jesus Christ. I rolled bad. I got a 9 on perception.
Well, starting to pick the lock, you find that it is very unpickable. Like this thing
This was for checking for traps.
is. Oh, sorry. You check for traps and you don't find any. However, you do notice, like as you're checking for traps, that the lock is super heavy and also larger than like any that you've ever seen, and it looks to be very, very old. Which, since you pick locks fairly frequently, you know that before a certain date, locks are like basically impossible to handle without like either the key or like a fucking like
Crowbar.
chisel or crowbar or something.
Unpickable lock that's like stuck.
Like, have you ever
Yeah,
seen
you can
like
find the key.
old monster locks from back in history? Kind of. Maybe I'm making this up. I don't know. Like, I swear I've seen it as a thing.
No, I've seen. I
So
think
while there are no
some boss
traps,
key, boss locks
it
from
will
Zelda
be
is
virtually
possible.
impossible to open this thing without either breaking the door down or finding whatever key goes to this.
Are the hinges on this side? Are they on the outside?
They appear to not be on the outside. Now, also after you're done patting the door down, you hear like a. I guess it was my imagination.
So weird.
They have a fucking person locked in a closet.
Yeah.
The fuck?
I'm thinking of tempting to sing a song, but since I'm like kinky, I can mimic somebody else's voice.
Well-
Or deception.
You're more than welcome to give it some thought because it's break time. We'll be back. And we return. But not quite where we left off. Pop over to you two real quick. Or you three.
Yeah, I'm just gonna unless you think you can convince her to tell us anything.
There's no one else here to talk to besides you, is there? Your mom isn't here. No one else I might actually care about.
I don't think that's any of your business.
Okay, man.
You'd best move on before I call the town guard.
I
I
really
know
want
what
to
you're
do something
thinking.
to her.
No, I know what
But
you're thinking. It's like,
I
No,
will
allow
we'll leave.
us.
We'll leave. She's really pissing me off, but with that one.
I guess this whatever you lost it ain't that important.
She
No, okay.
I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to make all her windows and doors fly open on her house, so I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
She picks up her broom and like begins to like, turn to leave, and then all of a sudden, like, shit just
Yeah.
pops off. It's just,
I'll squint at her and be like,
and she kind of quickly, like, hustles into the door and fucking slams it. And there's a couple
I'm
of
gonna make
minutes.
it open again.
And then, okay, so there's a couple minutes tick by, and then, like, a window slams, but, like, the door flies open again. She fucking turns down in a huff and fucking,
I'll leave now after having done that.
and slowly but surely she's, like, slamming the rest of the things shut. You hear there's, like, a couple minutes, bam, and then a couple minutes, bam.
That's fine. I just wanted to get my revenge on her for being petty.
I don't think that helped.
No, but it felt good.
I'll admit she is making things difficult, but it may have been a bit much. She may not actually know anything.
Well, what now?
Barring giving chase to the man that's already left on horseback and leaving everyone else behind.
Well, you could go to the guards at the gate and ask who left this one. I don't think many people leave on the day of the festival. And this one, they said, stuck out at least to the innkeeper.
They do seem preoccupied. Perhaps we could go back to the inn and make conversation with some of the patrons. The innkeeper said he had heard a rumor. Maybe the rumor monger is still there.
Maybe. That's not a bad idea. I guess we'll go back to the end then. How far is that church we delivered the bones back to?
Not very far.
With
Like, you could get
Father-
there in, like, maybe 30 minutes.
Father Lucian.
Yeah. I want to stop by his place real fast, and I want to ask him for some holy water if he's not too busy.
You can do that.
Okay.
First, you pop back over here. Victor is going over some glyphs. He, like, looks. No, that's wrong.
Victor?
Who is she?
This is my student, Irina.
Nice to meet you. He looks. I didn't know you had a student. Is she gonna want to look at my spell book too?
She's going to be watching what I'm doing. I hope it won't be a problem.
I won't distract anything, she assures. He goes, all right. The servant returned with the ink. Should probably do that first.
Yes, that is why I'm here. I should know while I'm doing this. Are the cats zombie cats or skeleton cats?
I believe they are skeleton cats.
Okay. Sure. Glasses is gonna walk over to one of the cats. He's gonna like on its head.
Was that the cup?
Yeah, it's a glass.
Wow.
It pats. The cat's head like rattles, and then it like kind of looks at it, and like it does that like reach out. You know, like have you ever seen a cat like reach out and looks like it's gonna bat, but then like pulls away immediately on contact?
Yes.
Only it's bony, so it like tink. The glass kind of.
I kind of thought the cat was going to try and like squeeze it out. Like,
It's not on a table.
I know, but
The cat's not confident enough yet. It's like, I don't know about this.
I've never been touched back by a cup.
And the glass is chill. Is cool. It's like, yeah.
I will grab the spell book and the ink, and I will call Irina over and I'll say, alright, you know, I did have one in mind, but let's see which one you want then. We'll work on that one. And you know what? She can. I was gonna describe a third level spell. I was leaning towards fly, but I want to see what she's interested in.
Okay.
So, what out of all the choices of level 3 spells in his spell list, and if If you don't know which ones are level 3, I can tell you.
completely remember.
Here, I've got the last one. Good part of the spells are not.
Basic mage stuff.
It'll be under the mage stat log. Cult fanatic stat block, clearly.
Clearly.
We got mage.
Yeah, because I don't completely remember.
Okay, so he has counterspell, fireball, and fly as third level spells. In addition, can I see his list?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just it right here. I thought maybe you might have it written down or something, which is why I started to ask.
He also has animate dead. Wait, am I reading this right? Oh no, sorry. Pretend I didn't read that. That's my bad. I got the wrong one. Okay, he has animate dead. Blight's level 4. Glyph of Warding is level 3. Remove Curse is also level 3. So yeah, whichever she picks between Spell, Fireball, Fly, Animate Dead, Glyph of Warding, and Remove Curse. Although if she does remove Curse, well, I'll wait, but if she picks Remove Curse, I'll tell her that Greila has it, so we shouldn't have to worry about that too much.
What does Glyph of Warden do?
There's the one on the door. The thing that would have exploded.
Victor makes a face like he just realized like you're here without being exploded. But doesn't he's kind of like...
And I will say to Victor, you might want to warn people next time. You don't want your father exploding, would you?
If it works, it works.
You're the best person, so you would want best person blown up, right?
So it ended up on the evening news. It was in modern day.
Barovia News at 11. The Blackie got exploded. No one exactly knows how.
But we did see a group of adventurers quickly leaving the city.
And counter spell.
Yes. It's a counter spell. You undo their magic as they weave it.
Sounds pretty powerful.
It is. My master extolled its virtues at length.
Well, if you're asking me, I think I would choose that one.
Alright. And I will hand her the inks and I will show her, and basically I'm going to have her scribe it. But under my supervision. Basically it's like a assistance.
Okay.
And I will hand her my spellbook and the inks, and and if she needs to make any checks, I can use my portent to buff that up to a 14.
Well, it's not a matter of making checks. It's like she's not practiced enough to do this without like wasting some ink or otherwise like, screwing up symbols. Like it's pretty difficult to do, and it being 3rd level, it's like even more complicated. You assisting her will help.
Will I need to pay extra money? Because I have an extra 50 gold.
She's probably, unless she nails it the first time, which she's not going to, you would have needed to have purchased like more ink than you have. You have enough for like one person doing it like correctly the first time. That
Even if I use my portent to make her roll higher?
Yeah, because it's not a matter of just like one roll.
Okay.
The equivalent of like someone who's like kind of familiar with the concept of, well, I guess like kind of familiar with the concept of scribing, like back in the old days, I would imagine. Like someone who's like kind of familiar being, all right, here's like this pretty intricate, like 3-page thing. I'll watch you. Like she's gonna do her best, but it's kind of the deep end. However, it is a cool idea if you wanted to maybe have her not scribe the actual spell, but like have her like use normal ink and like some separate paper.
How much more ink would I need for her to be able to do it? Just like, can I maybe calculate that, or would I not know?
Given her level of inexperience, I would say you would have had to have had double.
So I don't have enough for that. All right.
However, if you wanted, you could be doing it in your spell book, and
Okay.
part of your assistance could be you can look at me, and you can also be doing it.
Alright. Then we'll do that instead, and I will say next time you will have me do it. And for now, you will practice. And yeah, I'm going to scribe counterspell.
So is Clifford warding always explode, or is it you put a spell?
You
on
can
it?
have it.
You can choose. You can either make it exploding wounds, or you can cast a spell and have it trigger the spell. The problem with Glyph of Warding is that Glyph of Warding has a material component that costs money and is consumed each time you use it. And considering how much
200.
200 gold, but the problem is with A, how little gold we get, and B, how much everyone likes ripping us off, I'll be able to use it once in the campaign, like maybe.
Yeah.
So it's not a good choice.
Now I see a little bit more why you were hesitant to just go, I'll just scratch off the rune. You have to cast it again.
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
that would be really fucked. Just like, well, hope you can afford another 200 gold fucking focus.
It was very good of you to not do that.
Yeah.
You are doing that. In the meantime, Crack has a decision to make to
Well, that's fine. Counterspell was another good choice.
what to do.
the next time you get fireballs with the
Maybe.
Yeah, I can do it to stop Strahd, or if we run across any other casters.
Well, they like a voice that's not my own. Yeah. And I'll ask, what's he doing in that closet, I guess that's what I assume it is. And I'll roll deception if you want.
Actually, for reasons that's not important. You go ahead and you do your best to mimic somebody else's voice. What kind of voice is it? Just out of curiosity.
What's this? Woman's voice.
Okay. And you do your best to ask what he's doing in there. You hear it. "Ugh. Who is it? Please, you can't keep me in here. Release me."
What's he doing in the closet? And woman's voice again. Not gonna fucking budge until I look at the answers. My
Wait.
questions.
Wait. Did you ask what? Are you not one of the servants? Who are you?
That's not important.
I've been... Please, you must release me. I've been trapped here for speaking out against the Baron's madness.
Who are
Please, God, motherfuckers lock in his house because of that.
I'm but a humble shoemaker. Please, I have a family.
Why won't he answer my questions? Answer my questions. He won't say
No, he did. You wanted to know what he's doing in there. And
Yeah.
he told you.
He's in there because he was speaking up against the Baron.
Well, he took a fucking long time doing it. I asked multiple fucking times what he's doing in
And he also has a family. And you must release him.
there. Chains are meant to be broken.
Birds everyone.
Well, I thought that was rules.
I'll ask him if he knows how long he's been in there.
Not long. Maybe a day or two since I was removed from the stocks.
He stopped.
Ask him what his name is. Maybe he's the dad of that kid.
I'll ask him what's his name.
I don't have it in front of me, but it gives you the same name as that guy.
Oh my god, it's the same fucking guy. Now
While
he's in-
also insisting, please, you must release me.
They're probably people off the stocks that don't want them there for the festival. The Baron said that.
Maybe. It's pretty fucked up.
I'll have to, I'll say in character I'll have to come back later.
Please,
Jesus,
don't
that's all
go.
he wants to do.
Release me.
I'll come back later.
You hear chain rattling, and he continues to plead with you, a little more loudly.
I'm
Just
gonna,
bang the fucking
fuck this.
Mine!
You leave his cries behind,
Mhm.
and you were headed for the Baron's room.
I'm not even sure if that's a good idea.
Who knows who's chained to the bed?
Sure.
I just wanted to make sure.
I'm already fucking deep.
Okay, you're already this deep. You continue on, and if I may find it on the page once more,
At the very least, I'll learn something out.
there aren't very many people up here. You come to what is essentially the Baron's bedroom, but it's also his wife's bedroom, the master bedroom, if you will. When you make it there, you see that time has faded the grandeur of this master bedroom. The furnishings have lost some of their color and splendor. There's a short pole rope that hangs from a wooden trapdoor in the ceiling.
Check for traps.
Sure.
And why would you trap it? Okay, I got better. That's a 23.
Okay. And are you taking the room or like the
Well, the
Trapdoor.
room. Well, let's do the trapdoor because why would that room be trapped?
Alright. Check it out. You don't see anything. You don't find any traps.
Alright, I'll check the room now. Just for stuff, Bibles, whatever.
Alright.
I got 22.
You check around the room, and while it wasn't hidden, now that you're giving it like a better look, you notice that there's some other stuff in here. Namely, that there's a dresser as you would expect. There's some other like furnishings that you already kind of saw, and you get a closer look at them. And in addition to being faded, there are some like stains that are starting to show on some of them, but like on the underside. There is also a small like room off to the side that like the door is open, and you don't like whether you go in there or not is up to you. But like since you're searching them, you like get a look in there, and you see that inside there's a vanity mirror on like one of the walls that's like pretty big and eye-catching, and it's near a mannequin that's wearing like a white bridal gown, and mounted on the other side is a different mirror. There's a full-length mirror with a gilded frame that mainly because it's like shiny and shit like kind of catches your attention. And there's also like a door in that other room that like leads to something else, but like you're just checking it out.
I don't like those mannequins.
There's a double bed in here, and it's pretty nice, even though it too is a little faded and threadbare.
Let's check the trapdoor.
It's got white and golden sheets. Alright. You pull the rope, and down comes a wooden ladder that leads upwards.
I'll go upwards.
Going upwards takes you to what appears to be some kind of attic. This dusty 20-foot square room has high-pitched ceilings that reaches its peak 20 feet above. The wooden rafters are shrouded in cobwebs. Except for an old table with a lantern on it, this room is empty.
I'll leave. Oh wait. I'll try. I'll check. Unless you actually are telling me, just that's all I see, and there's no reason.
I was just reading you the description. You can check it out, or you can not.
Well, I looked at the numbers. 20 on that one.
Checking it out a little more, you actually find it's not super hidden, but it is kind of like it kind of blends in with the rest of the paneling. There is like a little door that you can push open.
Check for traps. I got a 22.
You check it. It's actually a pull door. I also made a mistake, but there are no traps on it.
Alright, okay. I'll pull it.
You pull it, and you find another part of the attic. This large attic room is full of old, forgotten things draped in white sheets. Piled around them are barrels, crates, trunks, and old furnishings covered with cobwebs and dust. However, you can see a clear path through the maze of objects. And they've all been sorted in such a way that like you can move through without obstruction.
Alright.
In addition, there are also some footprints through the dust that like especially call attention to like how you move through.
Go on. I'll go forward.
Okay. You're walking along. And after a little bit of walking, you hear something. Like you get close to the end of the room, and you hear like maybe some scratching. It's really soft. And below you.
And this is just normal fucking man. Wait, I'm a ranger, so with that, I know what direction I'm facing in.
Yeah.
Alright. Is this anywhere near that closet or anything?
To the best of your knowledge, it is not.
Here.
In that it is not.
Alright. Keep going, I guess?
Okay. You actually find like a small. Again, it's not like super hidden, but like once you're there, you're like, oh, there's like a little doorway and some steps that you like walk down, and suddenly you are looking at a room that has a number of maybe mystical objects. You are also looking at like the dude's son, who is like messing with like some sort of runes or some kind of spell circle. And you spot Sasha and you spot Irina, who are like doing some book and parchment thing.
I'm going back out of here.
You start to back out of there when something starts coming towards you. You didn't get a good look at it at first, but it's like this. It moves like a cat. There's like a small skeletal figure, like some kind of zombie cat. Comes like trotting over, and even though it doesn't have a nose, it like pantomimes as if it's like sniffing the air like close to the doorway.
Does one of my tiny servants see does one of my tiny servants see the cat move?
Okay.
No, but I will say Knife Guy was following this particular cat, so it kind of like bumps into the cat when the cat stops.
So Knife Guy, in fact, all tiny servants have 60 feet of blind sense, so they actually know Crack is there. Upon the tiny servant noticing that it's coming towards Crack and alerting me, I will mentally command Knife Guy to grab the cat. It can't speak, but it can make like grunty noises. It'll make like clang, and basically like grab it around its two front arms, like how our child would pick up a cat and like lift it and be like clang. and hopefully that'll give enough of a distraction for Crack to get out of there. Also, yeah, tiny servants have blind sense, meaning they can find invisible enemies. Isn't this spell so cool?
So blind sense just means you know exactly what's there.
If there's anything within 60 feet of it, they know it's there. And it's in fact the only way they see. They don't see things normally.
I mean, I
Not
guess
to
it
mention,
makes
he would know that anyway
sense.
because he's concentrating on the spell. Or should
So
he?
you see the knife, the animated knife guy, like bump into the cat, and then like kind of move and like pick up the cat, and there's like a metallic like grunt that kind of sounds vaguely like Kitty, but like maybe you're just thinking about things. And it like picks it up, and then like Victor like looks up and like looks at them kind of because the cat starts to resist it a little bit, and it like seemingly doesn't care.
Well, I'm gonna say, can I heal and get the fuck out?
Victor like as you head off, like Victor, like you hear Victor turning and going, "What's he doing to my cat?"
Oh. Put him down, knife guy.
And well, you don't get to see it. Like you hear "put him down, knife guy," and like a little clack clack clack. You get to see it. Like it stops.
Hopefully I bought, Tiny servant is
Couldn't
the
get a stealth
best
check
spell.
anyway, but with advantage as
Do tiny servants
like,
for some reason have like a
people are a
decent
little
strength
distracted.
score? Like for their
No,
size?
but they
What
have
the
a good
fuck?
dex score and their finesse weapons. So they
That's
can roll
what-
some dex.
That's
Oh no, dude. Should you roll? I just want to see if you're cursed. You're not
no,
cursed.
I mean,
You
I
guys-
think Strahd
What'd you
will
get?
eventually have the possibility of being able to make
11.
tiny servants too.
Okay,
Yeah, I think
so
I rolled a 9 or something like that.
that all happens, but then you hear like some wood squeaking like directly above you, and like Victor seems to like hear this as well, and he like looks over in a direction and goes, "I thought I obstructed that." And he moves over to like a door, the door that you saw, but and he stands in front of it and he looks up.
It's probably some sort of roach or rat.
Sounds awful big to be a rat.
There are big rats.
Thought it might be one of the servants checking up on me. Today's the day of the festival, after all.
Well, your servants are worried for you.
If only the glyphs weren't so damn expensive, I would have warded this place too.
Yes.
Maybe
it's
I should.
a problem. Do you actually? Who do you get your items of this nature from? I need to get a glass eye focus, and I was not able to find one.
I don't rightly know. I commanded one of the servants to fetch it for me, and fearing for my father's authority, they obliged.
Perhaps you should ask this servant where he goes to obtain it. This could be useful if you don't mind.
I suppose.
I wouldn't want to have to bother you for more ink, you know.
Right. Out of curiosity, where's Crack going now?
Well, I'm going out of that attic and putting the trapdoor back up, and I guess I'll check the fucking mail with the mannequins and check that room.
Okay. You can do that, but I am going to pop back to y'all.
Yeah, this sneaking around has not been very fruitful.
Yeah.
I thought it would be more.
Hey, we're basically not doing anything either.
Go
But
Jack Usic's room.
Hmm?
It's like go Jack Usic's
You're back.
This
at-
is
That's true.
You
I
can
guess
steal that sword if you want.
you are back
What's that?
at the inn.
Oh, yeah.
There's a sound of talk, though a lot of talk is turned towards the festival and that it's getting closer.
are the Watcher children still there?
When you get back, yes, but they're not talking. There's a point where you enter in like one of the other rooms and they're just kind of chilling and drinking.
Just wondering.
You gonna ask around or?
Yeah, I suppose we could go up to the innkeeper and ask where you heard the rumor. Who did you hear that rumor from? Of the person running? Or leading the town in haste?
Oh, a little bird told me. Yeah. Joking, of course. Old age, I can't quite remember. Probably someone here.
I'm just going to roll insight, or would I be able to just roll insight to see if
I mean, if
he
you
does?
want.
Yeah, I'm going to. I trust no one in this town.
I don't think he has a reason to lie to us, really.
I'm always going to be suspicious of everyone, unless they've given me reason not to be. 12.
I mean, he's kind of old. Like, you think.
Unfortunate. Suppose I'll have to try and make do with something else.
Rictavio here?
Yes.
I want
He
to
should
go.
be telling his stories up in the room. Same as before.
I will go up to the room and I'll try to get Rictavio's attention.
He tells stories in his room and not amongst the people, where he can make
No, he
coinage.
I was referring to the room that he tells the stories in. Like when you first visited, or when your friends first visited.
Out of character, I thought he meant like his personal room. Was like, weird.
You managed to come in on the end of his story about the tiniest orc he had ever seen. Fully grown, yet no taller than a pony.
Okay.
If you believe me. And there's a floating, like, semi-applause, semi-laughter, general approval.
Okay.
You get his attention, and he looks, he says, "Ah, my friend, is there something I can help you with?"
Yes, my companion, the Minotaur, he had an object of sentimental value stolen from him, and
He was
you
there for
seem
that.
good at sussing out stories and rumors, and I was wondering if you might help us figure out where this rumor of a person fleeing the town this morning came from.
Well, I'm more of a storyteller than a story finder. That's always the difficult part. You're saying there's a rumor that the culprit left this morning?
Yes, in a hurry, apparently. Apparently it must have been noteworthy enough for people to talk about it. We believe the person's name was, what was it, Halivar or something like that?
That was the name of the dude that we saw, but he was not the one that was leaving.
We don't know if he was the one that was leaving.
True.
You were told that somebody left.
Yeah.
And like, hey, maybe.
And the person who possibly stole the object from us resembled a resident of the town named Halivar.
Well,
His sister was of...
who did you hear this rumor from?
We heard it from the innkeeper, but he claims he can't remember where he heard it from. You seem more personable than...
I would ask him again. I have my suspicions that old Coot is really more together up here than he lets on.
So
But don't let him know that I told you that, of course.
Alright. I'll go back to the innkeeper then and say, are you sure you really don't remember where you heard this rumor from? And I'd like to roll persuasion, if it's alright.
Sure.
Assuming
Throw a little money on the table, make it a bit more interesting for him.
Nice doesn't like you.
11. So, not great.
As sure as anyone my age can be sure of something.
If if you manage to remember...
Actually, seeing Grenna coming back from talking to... Not Grenna, sorry, Greila. Apologies. Talking from Rictavio, I'm going to pull out, because this thing is kind of important, like 10 gold, slip it on the table, slip it over, and... Are you sure? This item is fairly important to me. Any information would be able to help. Basically trying to grant Greila advantage on, or aiding on the persuasion check.
Sure.
18.
You have advantage.
Yeah.
No, that would
roll.
yeah, with that roll.
Well, perhaps it was one of the young ones that stays here with me. This isn't just an inn. Some of my family lives here as well, and we are all early risers.
Mm-hmm.
You met his son.
Yeah, I met the if I go out, I'm gonna go out to the stable and see if he's out here, but what I'll say is, where would I find your young ones if I wanted to ask them? If it's not too much trouble. I don't want to intrude on your family, you know.
I would be careful not to trouble him too much. After all, he is young.
Mm-hmm.
You may find him hanging around the stables.
Alright. Just a few questions, I promise. I'll go to the stables.
You were able to find him easily enough. He is with a young woman who is like handling one of the horses.
I'll say... Wait, how old is this kid?
He's like 8 or 9.
I'll say hello again then, instead of what I was originally going to say.
Hello. The woman turns and looks. Is there something that I can help you with?
I had a few questions for the boy. I can't remember his name at the moment, David. So, just insert name.
The boy.
Questions about what?
Supposedly, a person left the town in a hurry this morning, which seemed odd since it's the day of the festival, you know. And we had a run-in with an unscrupulous fellow who happened to steal a belonging from one of my companions. We were wondering if the two might be related.
Mm-hmm.
And
the kid asks, "Was it a big guy with a vest?"
was it?
Yes.
Then yes.
He was going really fast. The woman like kind of gives him a look, but being a kid, like he kind of doesn't notice it.
Does it look like be quiet or
Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, getting up early, we tend to see things. People leave, come in. You're new to town, aren't you?
Yes, we've only been here for a few days.
Well, you've come at an exciting time with the festival. At least,
I've heard.
if it were a normal one, it would be.
What counts as normal around here anyway?
Much of the same, I'm afraid.
Hmm.
Is that all you needed to ask him?
Do you said you guys saw this because you're early risers. Around what time was this? If you had to guess.
It was a little before sunrise.
A little before sunrise.
Damn, so he's even farther.
Yes, it was odd.
Hmm.
They don't open the gates before sunrise.
Hey, are you with me, Siguror?
If you said where you were going.
I said it to the innkeeper. If you were with me then...
Oh, if that you were going to the stables.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have followed them.
I'll turn to you and say I don't think we can catch up to him. At least not now. It'll have to wait.
Not without inconveniencing everyone else. Or putting everyone else at risk.
Yeah. Maybe we better just go listen to Octavia's stories.
You go ahead. I have to see if I can obtain something that would be a adequate replacement.
Okay. I'll go. I was originally going to go to the priest and ask him for holy water, but he's probably busy considering it's the holiday. No, I'll go to the priest anyways. I'll tell Siguror before I go though that I'm gonna stop over by the chapel real fast.
Okay. Meanwhile, more time has passed than like that because copying spells turns out to be uneventful after that interruption.
Who is Mark?
How did I go?
I don't mind either way.
She did okay for somebody who like has only been taught a little bit.
Let him pick.
There's definitely room for improvement, but there's also evidence of improvement.
And then I'll point out, first I'll try to point out where she did well, and then be like, these could use some changes. But otherwise, I will tell her. I'm impressed with your progress in a short time. I was a child when I started, but it took quite a bit longer than this before I could even draw straight lines, let alone glyphs.
Well, thank you. I've worked hard on my penmanship since I was young.
Yes, I actually didn't know how to read or write when I went to my master. Let's just say it made it difficult.
Oh, really?
My mother had yet to teach me. I was childish. And I suppose I did know how, it just wasn't very well.
Victor remarks, sounds like it's just about time for the festival.
Yes, you're right. Shouldn't bore you with stories of my childhood.
No, that was me. Like, out of character.
Will I see you there, Victor, or will you be staying?
I'll be staying here. I heard everybody else filing out of the house, so it should be quiet for a change.
Alright. Try not to blow up anything while we're gone there.
Have fun at the festival.
Oh yes, it will be a blast, I'm sure. I will turn and leave, and my 3 tiny servants will follow.
They fall in, and Irina follows you. The priest turns out to not be busy, so busy that you can't get a thing of holy water.
Just one. After we saved his precious relic.
Unfortunately, supply is short.
I understand. Alright. Well, I appreciate any help you can give. So.
And for what it's worth, in the intermittent time, you
Just ask me
eventually
where do I go if I need to buy something, basically.
you were referred to the stockyard
Yeah.
that was talked about earlier, and when you go out there, you find that their selection. They tell you they don't get imports very often. It's like an old couple saying we don't get imports very often. We don't have very much, and you're able to find an antique that very, very, very loosely
Asking
resembles
like anything like over the large fang, nothing. Because it's actually a fang from a saber tooth, funnily enough. But everybody calls it a horn.
There's a misshapen cornucopia made of like pounded like tin and copper that has a little bit of decoration scrawled on it that they can let go for 5 golds. But as far as like matching, nothing else really comes close because they have a bunch of like odds and ends.
This will have to do, and then I suppose I'll have to change it up slightly. Basically asking for a different type of like ginger if they have it, and some other odd things basically just to mix in for the ritual thing.
I can get back to you later if we want to do a price thing.
they can help you out, but for an amount of money that I will look up later. Technically, back in time, you, Crack, wanted to check out that other room. And what do you know? It's fairly small. Once you get in here, you detect a very thick smell of powder and fine perfume. And you have your chance to get an up-close look at the mannequin with the bridal dress on it, and the mirror, and then the full-length mirror with like the gold shit on it. So if you want to give me a perception for looking over the room.
I got a 16.
Okay. Looking around the room. You don't really find anything of obvious interest.
Man, these people are broke.
What the hell?
Man, he found shit.
Alright, well, I'm gonna get out here and go easy turn.
Okay. I would like another stealth roll from you.
Roll over one. Are you rolling 1 and 5?
Oh, I get better. That's a 23.
You managed to go undetected, and you're back to Ezek's room. Now, it had a lock on it. I'm not remembering what you guys did.
We relocked it, I'm pretty sure, so I have to.
Okay, so
unlock it
then
again.
you have to pick it again.
22.
You were definitely able to pick it again, and Ezek's not here. You once again get to see the large amount of Irina dolls. Same face, different outfit. Dozens of times. And you already know where the stuff's at. Nothing in here has changed. So you can take what you will.
Alright, I'll take it. And a doll.
My favorite.
You're taking what?
I'll take the stuff.
Okay.
And I think I'm taking the doll too. I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, I don't think he'll be missing one, considering he has like over 30 little lining the room.
If I remember correctly, he had like a short sword. I can look it up specifically, but he had like a little bit of weaponry that you can take, which you do.
He can also have some spare clothing or something in there.
It's fucking better than nothing.
He had some empty wine bottles too.
Well, I'm not going to take
You saw that
anything.
glassmaker.
People is broke.
Yeah. This is
What's
what.
the point of snooping around and robbing people if they ain't got nothing?
It's probably all the festivals running the town dry.
Assuming they have.
With that done, is there anything else in the meantime for the remainder of the hour that you have invisibility, or longer if you want to continue snooping around without invisibility, that you want to do?
There's the library, there's the Baron's place. No, I don't think so, because I can't think of anything.
I can't believe we forgot. The room with all the treasure. Whatever room that is.
Of course.
Well,
the
yeah,
treasure room.
I'd like
yeah.
to say that.
The
but
treasure. I'm joking. The joke is that clearly there is no treasure here.
Yeah.
Or it's all in a fucking room that isn't obvious.
And you just-
Clearly he has like 5 chests in the
Did
kitchen.
you check for the key to the closet where the guy is?
Did he find that key when he was looking around?
looking in
No.
the room.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Baron probably carries it with him.
Mm-hmm.
Baron's probably a big old bitch.
If you are
He's
done,
blocking people.
what do you do to kill time in the meantime?
Play dice with myself, or find some servant else play dice if he's not busy. Which I'm pretty sure they are. So,
Yeah, finding a servant that's not busy is next to impossible.
yeah.
So unfortunately, it's just gonna have to be you.
Yep.
But I mean, like, you have your own room, so if you want to, you can just be in your room and be like, yep, I'm just gonna kill some time.
Very fun.
It's already his bed. What?
You could also kill time
But they
that
probably
way
changed the sheets.
if you really wanted to.
Which is pretty nice.
Eventually, there's a point where you hear like people leaving the house en masse, which probably means festival time.
Mm-hmm. I guess we'll go to the festival.
Wherever y'all are, there's a point where like somebody mentions the festival and a number of people like get up to go.
I'll go to.
I'll go to where we stash our horses so I can drop off the shit I got
Okay.
and just put them in the saddlebags, basically.
As everybody makes their way like outdoors to start going to where the festival is, you notice that while you've been inside, very heavy storm clouds have rolled in. It's like cold and windy out here now. It's towards nighttime, so it's getting darker.
This is looking good. I'll, if I have a cloak, I'll put my hood up and stuff. Try to not be fucking hammered by the rain as hard when it starts coming down.
Has the rain started or not?
Can I use prestidigitation to create a circle of no rain around myself and anyone immediately next to me? I was mostly thinking of Irina, but if one of my other party members are near me, I'll try to...
Does it do that?
Well, so the thing is, prestidigitation, like, has, like, 2 or 3 things it does, and then it also says any magical effect that is low-key that the DM says is okay.
Like, I'll give it to
Putting
you.
out a small fire, starting a small, or making a small fire look happy.
That
I
isn't covered by another spell. 'cause
I
that's
am willing
technically
to
another
give
spell.
it to you.
Oh.
Okay. Then I'll try to stop the rain.
Slowly
around
but
myself.
surely,
Irina.
slowly but surely, you guys come together as you march with the rest of the crowd towards the town square where the festival will be held.
Now, between the time I finished my spell and the festival, was there an hour? It's fine if there wasn't.
There was that you could take.
Okay.
Well, actually, how long does it take to do spell stuff?
No, this is... It would have been, I think, 3 hours from when I got there to copy counterspell, but it might also be an hour and a half. I don't know.
You would have had time either way.
Okay, then I'll take that hour to short rest to arcane recovery to get me back another 3rd level spell slot.
There would have been time for that.
Then I have time to get my, at least shield and like other equipment. At least like a javelin or
No,
anything.
actually, I'm not...
Not really enough time to get back to the
I'm
mansion.
not good.
I mean, I would have had my shield, but not my javelins or my ranged stuff, basically.
Collecting your gear from someplace it's stashed or buying gear?
The mansion. Like after buying all the stuff.
You already have the stuff that you're wanting to grab?
After buying the stuff, enough time to go back to the mansion to basically grab all my other equipment that isn't the shield and sword.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I do not trust this festival.
There was a significant
Even as
amount
far
of
as I
time
can
to like
throw the
rest
errand.
and chill and shit. And
And actually, I'm going to give myself back 3 first level slots, not 1 third levels.
okay.
Because I can't cast clairvoyance anyway, and unless I want 9 tiny servants.
I mean, do you want that?
Slowly but surely, you come to the town square, and the people in the town square are all about as happy as one might expect them to be there.
They're ecstatic!
Under threatening skies, a parade of unhappy children dressed as flowers trudges through the dusty, maybe even a little muddy, streets. Leading the way for a group of sorry-looking men and women carrying a 10-foot diameter wicker ball. Burgomaster, or Baron, as you know him, and his wife, smiling wildly, also holds a sad bouquet of wilting flowers and follows the procession on horseback.
Jesus.
As weary spectators watch from their stoops in places like around the town square where y'all are at, the ball is borne into the town square. There it is hoisted and hung from a 15-foot high wooden scaffold. And the townsfolk take turns splashing it with oil. Baron joyously chanting and hollering as they do so. Before the wicker sun can be set ablaze, however, the sky, almost ironically, tears open. There is a downpour of water that swiftly begins to moisten not just the crowd, but the ball.
Except for me. Thanks, man.
Before the wicker sun can be set ablaze, it is crumpling and beginning to come more pile than actual ball. There's silence, pierced by the Baron turning around and immediately shouting, "All will be well! All will be well! All will be well!" And
This guy's about to
it
fucking
kicks
lose it.
up a little bit. They're like, "All will be well. All will be well. All will be well. All will be well. All will be well." And there's a solitary "all will be well" shout response from his wife each time that clashes with the rest of the crowd as they slowly start to get up there.
Man, this is like fucking E3 for fucking Fallout.
Until
Gotta
eventually,
bring that sad shit up.
the cries all reach roughly the same volume of "All will be well! All will be well! All will be well! All will be well!" And a torch is passed to the burgomaster, who holds it up and then shouts, "All will be well!" And he shoves it into the ball moist,
The mulch.
only to have his torch immediately extinguished. What he worked so hard to build up immediately cuts out. Then there are a couple seconds, and then somewhere in the crowd is a
Oh god.
Oh no, that guy's about to be killed.
Sasha tried so hard not to laugh, and I don't know if you want me to roll something on it, but someone else laughing might make Sasha laugh. He was trying really hard not to laugh, but if someone else laughs, it just
Or makes
that
that
shit
sound.
cascades.
Makes that just...
the severity of the rest of the crowd as they all whip their heads in unison
Oh,
at the
no.
source is sobering enough that you're able to not lose
Okay,
it.
I hold on.
There are also a few gasps as the Baron, fire in his eyes, storms towards the source. There is a man, both hands over his mouth in a guard uniform,
Oh no.
that is looking onwards, mortified, frozen to the spot.
Oh no.
I want to save this guy.
Easy. But yeah, I guess it would be the same. God, I don't even know what roll that would be. Bless you.
The
Trying
Baron
to cover it up as like a sneeze.
I'll use thaumaturgy to make my voice louder than it normally is, and I'll just yell his "All will be well" to try and get the crowd back going, so maybe it'll be diverted.
you inadvertently make things more awkward.
Oh, fuck.
Because he's storming, and everybody's super quiet. In the background, "All will be well!" And he's just, "All will be well! All will be well!"
That's like his battle cry.
Oh, God.
As the Baron comes to a stop, 5 feet in front of the guard, who removes his arms and says, "No, I didn't mean," but he cuts him off and says, "Silence! Conspirator! This is all your work. This is all your doing. We were this close to breaking the curse of the land, and if I had been able to suss out you in my midst before this had happened, we would all be free. Guards!" And then some guards quickly move on either side of him. "Fetch chains and my horse! We shall
What
make amusement
the
of this dissenter.
Oh no.
Perhaps we may still yet be able to have an amusing festival."
Oh.
There are nervous coughs, gestures, and sounds where people attempt to make noises of approval, but they come out a little tortured. for reasons obvious
Maybe
to the
we can-
scene.
Somebody
Spook the crowd
who's
into fleeing?
next to me is like, what is he planning? Something like this happened before.
It sounds like he plans on.
How many people are paying
I don't
attention to me at the moment?
Currently none. Everybody's looking on as the guard like falls to his knees and says, "No, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. All will be well." As the Baron just slaps him like across the face. I will not have you put those beloved words in that tainted mouth of evil. There are guards who are like bringing like a horse and some chains have been scrounged
Okay.
rather quickly.
Oh God.
As everyone else is paying attention, I'm going to sink into the crowd a little bit, and I'm going to begin casting a spell. Veritas, credo, oculos.
I see.
And I'm going to create a silent image of Strahd von Zarovich.
Oh.
Having him appear out of the mist. Right in, like, basically where the Baron can see him.
I will, if I
Like,
see this,
away from
I
the
will
crowd.
use thaumaturgy to make the ground tremble.
Yes.
Could I get a roll from you real quick?
Okay.
Just to actually
What kind of roll is this?
no. I don't need a roll from you. Continue. You were illusion and you were
I'm creating
Yeah,
an illusion
making
of
the ground
Strahd von Zarovich.
That is within
Where?
my vision as well.
Where he can see him, but like, what does the area around me look like? What does the area we're all in look like?
Town square?
I will say
Can I have gotten a strong rest in there somewhere as well, David?
yeah.
Okay.
You guys had the opportunity to do your stuff. I will say that the guard, and I will just draw him for now, but I'll replace him with Candy if need be. The guard is here, and the Baron has stopped, and the crowd is more. They parted a little bit
To make way for him.
and are kind of here. They don't want to stand near the guard guy, but they're still in. And technically, the display stuff was like a little further.
Yeah, this
And then you, I'm gonna say, was like maybe somewhere around here, and then you kind of backed out. to the
Strahd will
outside.
appear here,
Okay.
and I will then use a minor illusion to make him speak. And I'm going to try, I don't know if it's an intelligence check to make it look like the sound is coming from him and like matching his movements up, because I can use actions to move the silent image, but I can't make it make sound. But with minor illusion, I can make sounds. So basically, I'm going to use the combination to make it appear as if Strahd is there speaking and moving. Can I do that?
Yes, but I believe that's like you'd have to cast the first spell and then the second spell, right?
Yes, so Strahd will appear, and I'm hoping everyone will be so distracted by Strahd appearing, it'll give me a turn to then cast minor illusion.
Like probably.
Is it obvious when
So,
something appears?
the image can be up to 15 feet, by the way, so I'm actually going to have him flanked by wolves, I guess?
Okay. And just to make sure,
Wolves.
you said you were having Strahd appear here.
Yes.
If it's not super obvious to other people, would you want somebody who doesn't know that that's happening to make a roll as well to make sure it's an illusion?
Well, we'll get to that. You conjure forth Strahd von Zarovich. Or an illusion, rather. And, even worse, he's flanked by wolves. This happens. People gasp. The Baron, stumbles for a minute, it stutters, and, falls over, going, "No! No!" And the guard, looks, and immediately, he's on his knees still, but now he's, kind of shielding, kind of deferring. It's like, and then people are like, "No!" And people start screaming, and there's one voice you hear in the crowd that said, "It did not work! He comes after all!"
Has a turn passed where I can make him say something?
Yes, I will note where you and you guys are in the crowd, specifically you. Like when Strahd
We were
appears,
next to him.
when Strahd, well, you're not next to, you're like in the crowd, but when Strahd appears, you feel like this chill down your spine. A very dire sensation.
Okay, because I mean, yeah, guest of honor, so you're probably separated from us, so we don't know you're
I was in
passing
the
in
crowd.
here.
in the
I was in
crowd,
the crowd
too.
with Irina, somewhere around here.
Yeah, he hadn't been pulled up to do anything yet.
Oh.
After the fire had been lit, maybe there'd be a part where he'd be like, "Come, say words," and we do the thing. But
Fair.
What Strahd
Did you
is
want to
going
roll
to say?
for us to discern that that's an illusion and not actually Strahd? With that,
I was going to say it's up to you. You can doubt that it's Strahd. You can say that it's actually Strahd. Depends on what you think. Same with you two.
Well, I already am in on his scheme.
Yeah, because Greila was
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Probably
yeah.
saw me.
I assume I recognize spellcasting since I'm also.
Well, yeah, since you're close, okay, and you're already collaborating
would
with
have
you
liked
and you.
to be close to them, but if that was impossible due to the crowd, I would understand needing to make a roll.
It was possible. It's up to you. Unless you specifically weren't near them, you could be near them.
That
I-
makes sense that
I-
you hear them.
Came here from the church or whatever. That's what I was saying.
So, assuming neither of them attack the illusion, what Strahd is going to say is a dissenter, and I'm going to attempt to use and what sort of check would it be to do his voice, or to recreate his voice? Most checks to make illusions more convincing are intelligence checks. However, if you would want something else, I didn't want to assume, but generally intelligence makes your illusions more
that sounds
convincing.
reasonable to me, so I'll take it.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna make an intelligence check to make like to try to replicate his mannerisms and his way of talking. Since I've encountered him now one on one, I'm probably more familiar.
More than
with
once.
it. I got a 17 if I just add intelligence. If I don't think that's gonna be enough, I can also lucky it.
I'd
You know
say
what?
it's-
I'll lucky anyway, just to be
Okay.
extra certain. Oh, a 20.
Actually,
I got a 20 on my making this seem as convincingly like Strahd as possible. And what he will say is, your dissenter. I call him my dinner guest. Come, you are to join me tonight, along with some others. I have plans for them. Unless you wish to stop me, and then I'm going to have them laugh.
the guard yells, "Ah, no!" and then attempts to like stab at him.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, what I'm going to do, if I can take a reaction, I'm going to have the illusion like turn to mist as he strikes him, so that it'll look like he's not really there, but hopefully they'll think he's not really there because I'm turning into mist, not because it's not real. Just mist.
Okay.
Do you want to check for that?
Or
Or
just
if
be
they
against
would
the
make a check,
illusion.
or if they would make a check against it, I have a portent, so they rolled a 1.
I think it's fair. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
He
gonna
attempts to
use my
stab. Strahd turns into mist, and the guard's like, "Rah!" and the bear is like, "Ah, no, where?"
Assuming I get another turn, I'm gonna have Strahd move 15, or I think I can move it 20 feet. I don't have it right in front of me.
That sounds.
But I'm gonna have him move 20 feet into the air to start flying, hopefully to dissuade any other of them from trying to stab him.
You will technically get a turn after something
Okay.
happens.
All
In
right.
that, like you do that, he turns to mist, and people are freaking out, and people are starting to run, and then you hear like a hiss from up above.
Draws.
And as you guys prepare, you see that there are a number of other cloaked figures that are like slowly revealing fangs, like on the rooftop.
You can move in.
One of them like stretches an arm out like at the guard. "It is as he says. It is hopeless." And a number of vampires descend from rooftops
Jesus Christ.
and are going to begin to attack the crowd.
I think vampires invaded the city, and them seeing Strahd think Strahd is actually here, and is just giving them.
Wait, what?
So the town is being attacked by vampires.
And I think you just timed it just right for them to think Strahd is actually here.
Or they are being
Give me a minute.
commanded by Strahd.
Or they're gonna attack anyways.
What?
I didn't expect exactly this to happen, so bear with me. 2 of the wicked creatures goes first.
Bummer.
They're full vampires.
One of them lashes out at like a running young man, easily like puncturing his jugular. Blood sprays everywhere as it cackles with glee, and that man falls to the ground. There's another one that dives on an escaping old woman. Her defensive skills are nowhere near good enough to stop her from becoming the victim of the creature. Jesus. Blood is running down its face as it turns back around, scouring the rest of the crowd for more victims. It is then Sasha's turn.
Okay, so
I take it
is this one on the ground or is this one in the air?
They all like leapt down into the crowd and started
Okay.
doing stuff.
Cool. I take it this is not your doing.
No. Knife guy,
Well, an elaborate illusion.
glasses, and knife guy, glasses, and Forkford will charge around this one, moving to flank while making noises. And
Angry
attacking.
cutlery.
How good is your phone fighting tools? How good is your phone? Sorry, I forgot.
The first one got a 18.
That is it.
Cool. I deal 6. Next one attacks for 16, and if that hits, 16.
It does.
That one deals 7 damage, and the third one swings for. The third one swings for 15.
Is that box tissue still high?
Does that hit?
15?
Okay, and that also hits for 7.
Okay.
So 6, 7, and 7 as they as knife guy like grabs its ankle by with its arms and basically lifts itself off the ground and stabs itself into it. Forkfurt basically charges into the other one's like Achilles tendon basically, and Glass is like body slams its fucking leg like it's shit. It just leaps up and into its shit.
And do their attacks count as magical?
See, the thing is, I don't think so.
That's weird. They're magical.
They're magical items. I don't know.
That was my hope, but at the same time, I can see how that wouldn't. So
I don't know, and I don't have Sandotar's guide, so I can't double check. If you
I'm
would
gonna
argue that them being magical makes them magical, then cool. Okay, well, bummer. Yeah. Additionally, I'm going to use my bonus action to upcast Dragon's Breath. Oh, it's a fucking crowd. I can't. God damn it.
they're doing their best.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I can't hit any of them with Dragon's Breath without killing a bunch of them. Do I know if vampires are immune to whole person, or can I roll a religion check to find out if I have to?
I'd give you a roll for that.
16. No, 17. Sorry. 17.
You consult your knowledge.
If they're immune to the paralyzed condition of the person. Wait, they're immune anyway because they're undead. They're not humans. I'm done. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Well, that double sucks.
Though while you are scrutinizing them, I will say there's a way like how they're moving, and then you see like technically you don't like yet, but like you're gonna see like one of them start to heal. You don't think that these are full vampires.
I think they're spawn.
Yeah. Which, admittedly, doesn't make it that much better, but...
I think it makes it quite a bit better by quite a few CR.
So this one's on the outside of the crowd, right? This one right here?
Yeah.
So if Sasha moved right here and used Dragon's Breath, would he hit any people since he's technically outside the crowd?
No.
I wouldn't hit any
You
people.
would-
Okay, cool.
You wouldn't
Sasha
do
will
that?
move here. Hit one of my guys, but he can move here once he attacks. And he moves on my mental command, so I'll have him swing and then move here so he's not in the way of Dragon's Breath. If that's possible.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Or he'll actually move just a second instead. Oh, in fact, they're tiny, they can be in the same space. So actually, you probably wouldn't have turned in the first place, otherwise you wouldn't have had.
Did they still get flanking if they're all attacking in the
Yes.
same space?
Well, no. These
Oh.
two flank off this one, and this
Yeah.
one flanks off these two.
No, that makes sense.
So yeah, these ones moved here and did their attacks. I move here. I will use my bonus action to cast a level 3 version of Dragon's Vet, granting it to both me and Sahar. I will move here, and they're not resistant to fire, are they?
I really don't believe so.
With that F6.
So they're not weak to anything, except for probably Radiant, I'm guessing.
As far as you know, yes.
Okay, so let's do fire.
There's no
Yeah, you can.
Radiant Dragon's
You
Breath.
can do one thing with one attack.
So, I will fire, Sahar will land on my shoulder, and we're basically gonna Gamabunta in double fire, but except in this case it was oil fire, but whatever, you're assuming. We're gonna double fire breath. It has to make 2 dexterity saving throws against DC 16. If it fails,
If you spend
I deal 4d8
3.
on each. 48 on each. 5 each. 9.
It manages to fail them both.
Okay, so the first one deals 9, 16, 20. The first one deals 20 fire damage. It's still going down. The second one deals 11, 20. Wow, they both deal 20. Fine. So me and Sahar will unleash cones of flame and deal 40 damage. Precious, Alia, Vero.
You both stream fire at this abominable creature. It howls and hisses in pain under your flame. A large portion of its skin twists and blackens beneath your arcane light. While it is still standing after the assault, it is very, very damaged.
Damn, I did like 60 damage to this fuck. Die! Because these things have like 50 damage.
Well, I mean, if we can take one out of the fighter, then we should be. Are these two are also vamps or half vamps?
Yes.
Um,
It is now Crack's turn.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think there's any other actual vampires here in Strahd. Because why would he make someone a full vampire?
There's just versions that can take power from them.
Yeah, he would make them all smaller.
Which one did attack?
This one.
And I should note, these don't provide cover because they're tiny. They're literally like this tall.
So I think that means you could be in their space, right? If they're tiny.
I don't know about that, but
It's just-
if you shot a ranged attack, it counts cover.
The spell would probably say if you could stand in its space. Because
Well, I think that's.
I was
size
reading
of
something
people.
else.
You might be able to move through its space, but I mean, you'd be able to move through its space because it's not anyway. But tiny things, you can move through this space if you're 2 sizes larger than it. Or
Because somebody could stand the same space as a pixie.
yeah, but a pixie can also move through your space too if you don't want it to. Although it counts as a buffer.
I really should have cast another fucking.
What should you cast?
I should have cast another.
Tentacles.
I'd have 6.
These are my guys. They're called Hell's Kitchen.
My next 3 are going to be a cuphead, and a knife you took off the assassin, which would be stab.
See, I thought you were going to take that thing and try to do clairvoyant. Or not clairvoyant, some type of scrying thing.
I don't know, scrying to the love of night.
I don't know that.
Oh, it's your turn.
this one's
He wants
almost
to stop
gone.
Stumble.
It's very hurt. I'm exaggerating.
You make an attack like an unarmed attack. It deals damage as an unarmed attack, so it would be 4 plus dexterity modifier, but it's radiant, so you can shut down multiple of theirs regeneration.
Also, it's this range spell attack, so.
It does say range spell attack, but I'm pretty sure you use
But
your
it uses your
dexterity
dexterity
modifier.
So you're basically attacking with a dab.
Yeah, it's the same as a punch in every way, except that it's ranged and it does radiant damage instead of physical damage. Which will be useful because you'll get around their fucking resistance to non-magical physical damage.
Alright.
It has to be 30 feet, so. Using 30 feet.
This guy is.
You really want to kill still your guy?
Yeah, get rid of him
Before
so
he
he
kills
doesn't
a
have
random
it.
civilian, yeah. As much as I would.
I don't think anybody here, and also depending on the gravity of the situation, will care for kill stealing my king.
I don't know, if the Hershey's not
Okay. An 18 does it.
Five.
You roll 1?
And you are blast again?
Yeah, with the
Symbol.
symbol.
Yeah,
Okay.
radiant damage.
Literally keep blasting.
Yeah.
Moderate key blast.
No, it's like vigilant.
Oh, okay.
20.
Wow, that's also it.
So 6. So 11 damage so far. I'll spend another key point. The attack. Another key. God damn you fucking guys. 11.
It hasn't gone yet, you have advantage. In fact, you've had advantage on all of those. And they're undead, so you do 2 more damage on each of those too.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
so
I should have said so.
He actually
I forgot
did
about-
15 damage so far. Also to this one. Does 15 not put it down?
To radiant.
No,
It's magic.
I exaggerated
Ah.
but
Okay.
in that,
Well,
I
it's
thought it had
radiant,
less
so
health
it's
than it did when it took a second.
Ah, okay. Well, he's
It
done
is still
15
pretty
to that. Roll advantage on this one, and remember to do plus 6, not plus 4.
Uh, 20 again.
Also,
He
that's
had 7, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's it.
5.
5, 6, 7, 10. Damage.
alright.
Funny thing, I did remember that fucking bonus, that fucking undead bonus back for John.
Oh.
You throw mystic energy of the bottom variety, scorching it left and right and left again, harming it yet further. It hisses and howls in a unique pain as this clashes uniquely against its dark stature. It then becomes Irina's turn.
Wow, this is a lot. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was Dora,
Holy
like,
shit.
a weakened version of one, or is it just because we fought only him?
I think we fought a new one that was being starved. So
Yeah, this is not good. This is super not good.
Uncertain, but certain, Irina
She has
attacks.
advantage because she's flanking with knife guy and glasses.
I think we can just get between her and that fucking other one.
Irina takes a swing, and unfortunately it's a little wide, and she misses.
Damn.
This vampire now goes. It eyes
Civilians.
a running civilian, but becomes a little more interested in y'all.
Great.
Moves
I mean, it wouldn't matter.
here.
Heard anyway, but
I swear to God, they have an AoE attack. as some kind of like wild slash.
That's a dire troll.
Baring its fangs, it smiles at Crack. Hopeful are you, wanderer? And it attempts to claw Crack in the face.
I mean, you did basically just shoot sun bolts, so probably a bit of a threat.
That sucks.
What is that going to do?
It catches you in the eye.
And then crit me and fucking crit.
For 19 damage.
That's blowing.
It then turns towards Siguror. Don't think I didn't notice you. And attempts to catch him in the side.
This is one of his attacks.
What do you think? You think you can hit me from the AC of 15?
His advantage avails him.
Ah.
Crack is struck. No. Siguror is struck. Losing a chunk of flesh, hair, and 10 health.
Alright.
The creature cackles with glee at its turn as Ismark.
You can attack this one. Still be down damage. Feels like
He looks to the enemy that's engaging both Crack and Siguror, but then casts a look at his sister and turns around and attempts to drive his blade into this one.
Reduce their numbers. It's better. Reduce that turn economy.
Man, can you imagine how bad this would be if they were immune to damage from normal physical weapons? Unfortunately.
Can't be for
It
over.
was. He swings, or he stabs, but it kind of catches and shifts off to the side.
This one, you useless. Useless!
It then
That's
becomes
one of the
Sigurdor's
focus.
turn.
He doesn't miss.
Yes. He hasn't hit anything in 9 sessions. That's not true, but he hasn't hit anything.
He's doing his best.
Draw, activate rage. You will regret that. Moving over to here, not out of range or anything, but close to his guard. Pick yourself up. Swing this one. Swing at this one. Is that enough for advantage?
Yeah, that's true.
Is it?
Yeah, that's fine.
21 to hit.
That is it. While nimble and powerful, these things are not wearing much protection.
I want to get this thing enchanted.
16 or higher seems to do it.
15 damage.
Okay.
And he is also now surrounded by the feature of ancestors. So if he attacks anything but me, disadvantage. And it still hits, half damage.
Alright. Astral ancestors rise.
And telling this one, pick yourself up and defend your people.
He did try and stab Strahd into some armor.
Well, yeah, stabbing Strahd. Oh, that didn't work. Fuck, vampires, down. He might be going through a loop right now.
He is. He does heed your words. Right now.
It's kind of experience.
Also,
Immediately
Sasha.
card.
So when Sahar notes the people who die due to vampire bites, Sasha's gonna try to commit it to memory.
Alright.
That is a very good idea.
You will do your best.
Because it specifically bites, right?
Yeah, well, anyone gets bit, he's keeping track. Oh wait, can spawn turn people to vampires, or is it just Strahd who can do that? If you're honest, with my knowledge.
You're not very sure.
What the fuck is
think?
Ratabio?
You think you need to be stronger to do that, but you're not sure.
It's supposed to be our ally.
Maybe he was getting out of Dodge before the festival.
Yeah, some ally he is. Like,
Octavia.
I bet he has a magic weapon.
Or not,
Or if he doesn't, I would be very surprised and disappointed. Von Richten. Rudolph von Richten.
Fuck it, man.
He's badass. He's badass. No, it's just
This is fucking awesome, if you ask me. It attempts to like slash at Siguror's face, having like jump up a little bit, but Siguror's too much for it, and it like misses. It attempts to like do the rebound and actually manages to cut deep or carve deep in Siguror's side on its second attack.
So,
Is
either of these two have super.
yeah, I think that's what got it. Do their attacks? Oh. Do vampires attacks count as magical, by the way?
17 damage, and no.
Okay, since I am enraged, it's not as bad as it could be.
What? That wasn't the one that you shrouded, was it?
No, the one next to you. Sir.
It is now Graila's turn.
This is the first thing I.
Alright, bust it out.
I will cast Spiritual Weapons as my bonus action and have it attack the one that's fucked up that people keep attacking. Not the Snickers, but the Hershey. And then I will also raise my holy symbol up, which will be my shield, and I'll turn it as well. So use really 16 to hit.
You're still gonna count.
That hits.
Okay. 10 damage. It's force damage.
And it's magical force.
It's force damage from spell, but it just says that it doesn't. Yeah, it says force.
For some reason, I'm still of the mind.
Alright, and all the vampires
Anything
within
that isn't physical damage is magical.
all the vampires within 30 feet of me have to make a wisdom saving throw against DC 16 every time. Also, if their CR is 1/2, they're destroyed, but I'm almost positive their CR could not possibly be 1/2.
Of your level.
No, just
just
1/2.
Wisdom, it's wisdom, you said?
Yeah, I believe so.
And you gotta be at 16. Alright, let's see how this goes.
Now, just double checking. The turn undead thing, does that disappear if they take damage?
It does. So don't attack more than one of them at a time.
No, I get it. I'm just making sure in terms of if it works, the attacks of opportunity on the ones.
So just beat the fuck out of one of them.
4 out of the 6 cower in fear at your holy light.
Good. Now they have to move away from me as far as they can for the next minute. On their turn.
On their turn, okay. The ones who did not make it, for the record, this one, who stands strong, and this one.
God damn
Huh. Well, that's
Who's
good,
undeterred?
because that one's debuffed.
But the rest of them fail.
But the rest of them fail.
Alright, cool.
If you opportunity attack, it'll break their thing. Just so you
Well,
know.
yeah, I'm not
and then
gonna
go
bother.
back to murder
And then, what a coincidence, it is this one's turn.
The one that's already super fucked up.
Really close. It has the light of your deity in its eyes as it like whips its cowl around it. as it retreats.
Okay.
Does it?
As this one retreats,
Yeah, you should all
All
just.
those
Yeah.
people.
6 opportunity attacks.
Well, alright.
Because, I mean, this one's going to be dead anyway.
Right. It might.
Yeah.
Wow. So, knife guy got a 6. That was 7. Fork fruit got 18. So I assume it hits.
Yep.
For 6. Glasses got a 19, which I assume hits.
Yep.
For 5. Sasha got a 25, which hits for 7.
How is Sasha attacking? I assume.
You picked up
Dagger.
knife
No,
guy.
I don't have I can't opportunity attack with magic.
Man, that'd be a great
You
cantrip.
picked knife guy up.
No, I have a dagger. And if he's basically gonna try to stab it in the heart.
Alright. And that was for how much again?
7.
Okay.
That was a critical. And then Isaac and I, so I dealt 7 plus 5 plus 7, or no, 7 plus 5 plus 6. That was all halved, but
Your servants hack at it as it
Also-
attempts to move out of the way. You, Sasha, chase it with your knife and find Heart. It plunges deep, and you feel its undead heart pop like a polyp inside its chest as unseen ooze coaxes this creature into its deathly undeath. As it falls howling and hissing, it is killed.
okay, so once I get in there, yank it out and cause it to fall to the ground.
That did.
Would you want to leave it in there? Keep something in its heart?
I
Grail-
need my dagger back.
Grayla will yell to the church, to anyone in the crowd that's like
Get to the
online.
church.
Yeah. I mean, we returned those homes for a reason.
It is, yeah.
Oh, it's hollow ground. You're right.
Should
I
be.
totally forgot about that.
This is another one of the afflicted that moves back, cowering in fear at the radiant light of Graila's power.
See, I don't know if it would really suck if one of them went after the Baron. I don't know if
This
that would
is
do
the
it.
first thing I've killed since the village of
It's funny.
The
At
fuck
all other times.
sucks being a low level caster, man.
This one scurries like away and then like up like a building and then like is on top of a roof.
Okay.
It is in the process of vamoosing. I'll just put it hereabouts for funsies. Like I'll keep it in my head because I know how much it moved. It then comes back around to this spot,
They also don't get reactions.
which I believe is also one of the things affected. Because this one, okay. So
it's
it
this one and this one the same.
It does something similar to its partner in that it like backs up 10 feet and then like takes to the wall and like scurries over like fucking bugs, running away. This one, however, scowls. This one is a thin-faced, sharp-lipped woman, or at least was in life, that like points, hisses, and then moves to attack.
Grayla will say, bringing you on these. I'm not gonna use the word as a
Just
but
steps up.
appropriate insult, not
Baron's technically
sexist insult at
Oh,
all.
man.
Everybody broke and ran.
Okay.
You know, except that guard that you hollered at, which may or may not do something.
Well, I assumed he was just still cowering on the floor.
You could be yelling at people like how you were black.
Oh yeah, no, that's my intention. If I actually see guards not doing anything, I'm gonna intimidate them to fucking do shit. Motherfucker, you are a guard for a reason.
So you're Commissar Siguror now?
Fucking get in line, do your job.
Yeah, Commissar Siguror. In Warhammer 40K, there's a unit called the Commissar that can yell at your troops and make them more effective.
Could I get a reminder
They can also
of Graham's
exit
AC?
the trip to
Seven.
I suspected. It's higher than I thought. The creature leaps forward
I'm
and
sorry
like
for it.
lashes out,
Sure,
only
that's
for
really
its
yeah.
nails to like scratch against Graila's armor. It then attempts another claw, but that one, like, they misjudged their swing. It misses. The creature snarls resentfully, but it's all it can do. He's now to Sasha's turn.
Okay. So this one is if I move next to Greila, can I hit these?
That's weird.
You're right. Oh, it's
You
fair.
could move here safely because this one's debuffed, so
The
we'll
ones that are feared don't have reactions.
really be able to hit you.
If I move here, how much of the crowd is thinned down? No, that's gonna hit Siguror. Damn it.
A lot of it. Like now, I'm gonna say, unless you're specifically aiming like in the fringes,
If I
probably could.
move here, and me and Sahar prepare an action to do a twin fire breath after this one is fleed, and after Siguror has moved out of the way, if I shout, Siguror, move! Is that possible? Once these two have cleared out and just hit these two and no civilians? Because Crack's just out of range of it, but these two are just in.
So like, would you be preparing in that?
Me and Sahar would both be preparing an action to fire fire breath upon this one fleeing and Siguror moving. Would that be a possible thing to do? That way I can hit these two and no.
I don't see why not.
And we will do that. These three are gonna go, and they're gonna run this way and run up the wall because they have a 30-foot climb speed, and they're gonna chase this fucker down so he doesn't get away. They're not gonna attack him, but that way I'll know where he goes.
They're gonna have to double move to like get.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So they don't
As long
like
as it's
actually
close.
just hide in town.
Yeah, I don't want them getting away or hiding in town. I'm gonna give basically the order I'm giving them is follow it.
Okay.
And if it breaks free, then attack.
Oh.
If it breaks free of it, yeah. If it ever like
I got you.
breaks free of it, then
Fuck.
it's like it runs into the street and the guard stabs it and that breaks its thing, then the three of them are gonna attack it.
It's Crack's turn.
Guards are coming.
Not feared, which is a
I need more
super
tiny
chance,
seconds.
right?
I would love to play a character that's just literally, these are my ads.
You were asking if the Snickers next to you is one of the ones that didn't save.
Just make sure it's not. That's one I can attack, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the
Yeah.
save ones are this one and this one. Yeah.
I got it. I'm key blasting, by the way. 22. So.
Alright.
It's,
Yeah. You can hit these things with 16 or more. It seems like they're nimble, but they're not like heavily armored or anything.
6.
8.
8.
I said it as you were saying it. I'm
Just trying to be helpful.
Your reminder.
Did I? No, it's next one we use.
Alright.
Alright, next up.
just for pure amusement, I'm gonna say the way they're scaling the wall is that Glasses is gonna pick up Forkford and Knife Guy and just eke up the wall. Just like stabbing into the wall with the other two.
This one's a miss because I got 13, and I'll use one of my other
I won't
people's.
fit my own attacks.
Okay.
And attack.
I am a moron. I do have a second attack.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't do your second attack?
For some reason I thought I got that 6.
16
Guy.
on this one.
It barely hits with this one.
Alright.
You got 2
5,
attacks.
6, 7. 7 damage.
I can't believe Sasha killed something by stabbing it. That is so unlikely.
Confident booster.
He just means it's probably statistically unlikely.
Crack throws one, not so much. Like it swings wide. And then a third as the creature is pelted by sunlight energy in blast form. It reels, it hisses, it squints against the light at what you are doing, but is nonetheless harmed.
This whole one is awesome. Beat Vegeta. It can be fun to play that with 2 levels of fighter for action surge. So you can be like, and then again,
What's all the key points?
you can also, one of the moves they get later is they can spend key points to do basically a fireball, but it's radiant damage instead. So you can literally fire 4 or 5 key blasts and then do a Big Bang attack. You can literally beat Vegeta.
Is it a key point per blast?
No.
No, it just replaces your normal attack.
It
It costs key points to do a flurry with them, but so would doing a flurry with fists. It's literally just your unarmed attacks, but it's bolts of divine energy, which is why he went for it, because it's like, you fight vampires all the time. This is perfect. And so far, it's insanely useful. You don't have magic weapons.
That'd be quite enjoyable.
Yeah, being Vegeta. You also can use Key Blast to do like a souped up version of Burning Hands as a command.
Irina moves forward and slashes, but unfortunately misses. Targeting this vampire. This vampire then turns.
You know she moved here, she would have had advantage.
No, I did not. The vampire then turns and swings. And as it
It
swings,
has disadvantage on
there
attacking her due to being surrounded.
is that's cool.
If this
I would
vampire
retroactively roll for disadvantage if they didn't crit fail. So, but okay. It moves to swing, but then there is a clap of thunder as it like moves and misses wildly. And it then attempts it again, and again there's a big clap of thunder as it like misses wildly.
I'm pretty sure Strahd would murder him if he even laid a finger.
Oh yeah, that's.
The creature seems disconcerted about more things than one, as it becomes Ismar's turn.
You don't matter to me. I'll let her murder you just so you don't lay a finger on her. I'm just joking. I assume Strahd's
Ismark moves around and then thrusts his blade into the chest of the vampire.
Hey, it's my got one.
It hisses, though it is only mildly perturbed. It is then Siguror's turn.
Excellent. Then at the
Oh, never mind.
this one?
Yeah, no, go ahead. I thought I remembered.
Would
something,
this
but I
one
didn't.
have gotten a turn yet?
It's not yet. That one's going to go and run.
Oh, okay. I thought it's been a go around. Is that?
Yeah, that'll be enough.
Okay.
And you can still attack and get flanking with anything.
If she moves close enough.
Isn't that an opportunity attack though?
From this one, but this one is not reactions because it's weird.
Yeah.
What about this one? Because he was here. Oh, wait, is he here? This one is in this space and he was here.
Oh.
Okay, well then, no, just move here. That'll still be out of
That's-
range. That'll be out of
okay.
range of the fire. You and Crack are both far enough away. It won't provoke an attack of opportunity from him, and he doesn't have the attack of opportunity because he's lost his reaction.
I've noticed when people are feared from Greila Austarian. Alright, yeah. And I will take some swings at him. There is 26 to hit for the first one.
Alright.
Yeah, y'all. 13 damage on the first one. And for a second attack that I forgot that I have, being level 5. It happens, man. Come on. It doesn't happen to others.
I'm sure it
22 to hit.
Yeah,
Is
that's for sure. 10 damage.
It's different.
So. Oh yeah, sure. It's
Attacks are different than my attacks. I've never forgotten Kendrill's second attack.
You swing and then swing again, and while you definitely feel some resistance, you know you're hurting it.
Then I'm also going to attempt to use Hammering Horns to try and knock her off balance and knock him on his ass.
Okay.
Just post strength.
Wait. Well, you could do that, but if
If you do that, it'll have damage on the dexterity savings by 5 if you knock it on its ass.
so,
That's weird.
Makes sense.
Alright.
If
If something was
Alright.
gonna breathe fire at you or there was an explosion about to happen, you probably died to the ground too.
It becomes this vampire's turn, who flees.
Thank you. As he does so,
Oh, yeah, right.
they have to make each of them have to make a dexterity saving throws, and it's DC 16. The first one is 18, and the second one deals 20. So I'm not getting no damage there.
And this is
Flushing out.
save, or?
Yeah, they each make a DC 16 dexterity saving throw against 18 and 20 for the damage. And we each make 2 saves.
18 and 20 total?
Yes. Because they can reduce or fail.
So the first one, this one saves, this one does not.
So he takes 9, he takes 18. And this is fire damage, so he wants that.
Right.
yeah, got a question.
On the second one, they both fail.
So they both take 20. Additionally, remember that on this one's turn, it doesn't heal because it took radiant damage from
I wasn't going to remember, because I kind of got. So, alright.
crack. Radiant damage negates that regeneration.
Not just the amount of damage that was dealt.
No, if they take radiant damage on a turn, they do not heal next turn.
Damn.
It then becomes Grayla's turn.
Greila will cast Spirit Guardians, and she will have the spiritual weapon move up and stab the one that attempted to attack
Okay.
her. Spirit Guardians is they have to make a save. For some reason. Obviously, all non-combatants and also my allies are not affected by the spell. Just to specify.
Alright.
They make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail it, they take 48 radiant damage.
They do fail it.
They do. Okay.
Such a good spell.
Where's my...
What's it called?
Spirit Guardians.
It's weird because it's the same name as the feature that I have.
Yeah, I know. It's a
18
spell. It's very
damage.
powerful. On Saturday, Tiro basically single-handedly won a fight against hobgoblins by just using Spirit Guardians and casting Eldritch Blast over it.
And the
Just
one
tore the fight
that
apart.
attacks me, the spear, will try to get it, and it's... Their AC is 16, so it hits. But just for the record, it's 24 to hit. And it's 10 damage again.
Alright.
Yeah, Ken was going to have it after level 11.
And their speed is halved, so I mean I don't think they're gonna try and move anyway because they'll provoke attacks opportunity, but if they try to move, their speed is halved on
The
it.
creature is pounded into, not just by your spirit guardians, but also the spiritual spear. Its flesh is rent and torn. It is hurt. Further. It's starting to get a little weird.
And because it's radiant.
Yeah. Bonus.
It would then be another turn of another guy that ran,
So as long as they're
then
within
another
Spirit
guy
Guardians, they
that
just-
ran,
Yeah.
which is useful. And now we're,
And I should note these are still.
yeah,
Just making sure they actually
Back
leave
to?
town.
this one.
Just to make sure they don't hide. Also, Sasha wants to hurt these things. Even if they leave town, he's going to leave and hunt them down. They're abominations.
This special might not have gone the way
We do
you
have
wanted,
that.
but
We do have that temple on the side.
as we
vampires?
No, I know.
Oh, that.
Yeah, that the elf told
You
us
mean the
about.
area that sounds like a super high level area that we're gonna get fucking slaughtered if we go to now? Yeah.
The creature ruefully hisses at Greila and swipes once and twice, but Graila's too good, blocking, weaving. Greila is unharmed.
Nice.
It then becomes Sasha's turn.
I'm really glad it didn't decide to just fucking turn around and slaughter me. They could have killed me hella easy.
Well, you're not throwing
There's
some.
Anyway, no, that's true. I'm lucky because I have 12 armor class and they have advantage, so they would kill me pretty fast. These two again have to make, and I can't. Technically, this thing,
It doesn't.
but it doesn't matter.
It's a
So
spiritual
they both
weapon.
roll DC 16. Dexterity saving throw. The first fire blast will deal 7, 15. Unfortunately, I didn't roll.
They both fail on that one.
Okay, so they both take 15 fire damage, and then they also, if they fail the second one, take 7 total. This kind of shitty rolls. Thanks, fire. Fire.
On this one saves, this one does not. How much was that again?
7 damage on this one, 15 damage on the Snickers. And fire damage.
Is anyone around besides us though? The vampires? Spawn?
No, they had all moved out to the outskirts. That's why I started firing everywhere. Because Sasha hates the undead. He's not so callous as to be like, hey, innocent civilian.
We are tough enough to take fire.
This one is rent by flame, its skin blackening under your arcane power. This one is reduced to nothingness, as it is hailed with flame and flame again.
Nice.
It then becomes Crack's turn.
This shit.
That's 26.
That's it. I've said a couple of times.
Yeah, I know. I'm just telling you now. Okay, I got 10 damage on that one.
Yeah, right.
And then next time.
And these are more blasts, yeah?
Yeah. 19 damage. 19 hit. 19 hit.
Big damage.
19 damage, that's pretty impressive.
19 hit.
That's a hefty key blast.
7 damage on that one. And
Alright.
focus Okay.
You should have saved it.
I should have saved it. God damn. I got a 9 to hit.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, no.
I'm not keeping with that.
Well, that one misses. The other two further crack and sizzle its sun-scorched flesh.
Oh man, that was tough. Put that meat on.
Next. Sorry.
On its turn,
Just give up. Does it?
Yeah, from Spirit Guardians. It's the start of their turns. It's
Oh.
on the turn he activates it, and at the start of each of their turns.
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
Crazy.
So it has to make this wisdom saving throw.
Oh, no, Irena's going right.
Oh, okay. Everyone else, no.
Hit. Let's see her kill him.
Irina swipes out, slashes, and takes a portion of the vampire's chest with her.
Nice.
What does Arena fight with? A longsword?
Yes.
As is his mark.
Yep.
I wonder. You think her dex would be
I've seen it that way.
It then becomes that vampire's turn. So now is the time
Oh, the
for
3d8.
the wisdom.
Yeah, I know what her stats are.
Oh, it doesn't save. It just
It's gonna take some damage anyways, but make yours save.
To see if it takes half.
It does not make it save.
18.
Chicken yet? Is it fried chicken yet?
Spirit Guardians is awesomely good.
It is
Such
good,
a good spell.
Is it every turn or is it just at the start of the
Every
turn?
turn.
Wow.
It is once again hailed, its flesh now very ripped and torn. It hangs loosely about it. It's not quite done moving yet.
Jesus Christ. Oh,
That spell being a bonus spell for both of the Crown Paladins single-handedly makes that earth not like the worst oath. Because the rest of it's kind of it's a little lackluster, but the fact that it gets Spirit Guardians on the spell list is like ridiculous.
It lunges
And it's the only one.
in a last-ditch attempt at vengeance against Greila. Well, no, opportunity attacks. Ismark, you, and you.
And if that opportunity attack isn't with advantage due to positioning, because if it actually moves here first for an attack,
I think it still counts as advantage because, like, it's starting to move
Okay.
and you go.
You and Ismark would have advantage from that movement. He would not though.
There you go.
But he got a nat 20.
hey,
I only had the +3 once, right? Or-
Yeah. It's because you rolled the dice twice. Also, you attack with your spear because it's a melee weapon. You can't. I don't think you can take attacks from opportunity with the.
Keep once.
Actually, I think you can. Never mind.
He's in the...
No, I'm done.
Ah,
15 damage.
So yeah, 2d4 plus 6.
So 4, 5, not.
Double check on this. You said 5 and 6.
5 plus 6 is 11.
So 11 radiant, 15 physical, and whatever is moving.
Okay. As it lunges for vengeance, it is skewered savagely by spear. Because you spear, right?
No, he got shot
He
blast.
blinds it.
Thought you were out of key points.
No,
He doesn't have to.
He can do them. He can replace any normal unarmed attack as part of his action with key blasts. He was spending key blast to do a flurry so that he got a third one.
I see.
Yeah.
Back scorched, blade buried in shoulder, and other blade buried in hip. It is killed
Ismark hit it.
again.
Sweet. To you. Cool. Split that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
You can figure it out.
for what? Yeah. That'd be kind of weird. It was like splitting the thirds. Here you go.
People,
Give it a hit. He blasted it with
Yeah.
radiant.
after this, some things happen.
Okay.
It is found.
First thing that happens is that I follow my guys.
Actually, you don't. Because they come back to you.
Oh.
And through either cute or classic, depending on which way you want to spin it, pantomime, they relay to you that they were following it until it was killed.
Oh.
And then
Did they attack it once it
the
started
the
getting
cup one trots forward and like has like a black feather like in its cup that it like offers to Sasha at the end of his explanation.
Where are you?
Huh. Ravens.
Are those important to Vishnani?
No, I asked because I told them to once their thing was broken to attack. Did they help kill it?
By its tail, it didn't get the chance,
Oh, damn.
but they were going to. Like they absolutely were like, yeah, we're gonna.
Okay.
Could it tell you how far it got out?
While there are still sounds of panic, they're a little softer, and you are able to find out, like, moving a little through town, like, you see that townspeople are being herded into the church by the priest, some of the guard, and Rictavio, like, has pulled his wagon and, like, has made, like, a little, like, sort of barricade to kind of prevent people from, like, running the wrong way, and he's using his own charisma to try and draw them. And As you look around, you see that guards, while initially taken aback, have like mounted up and are marching.
Yeah, we're gonna
about.
start fucking.
Now, instead of going to the church, Sasha is going to go and try to.
I'm gonna start pulling attention to the guards. We're not done. We still have stuff we have to deal with.
I'm gonna go.
Ones are a bit.
Are there people outside of the manor of the burgomaster's place?
You'd have to like go back there.
I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna go and try to find Victor. He should go to the church.
Okay.
But I don't think his father's gonna be able to convince him. So Sasha wants to go himself to be like, hey, we need to go.
You are able to find Victor like a little before you reach the manor. You get like the outskirts of town and are able to run into Victor, who is already like moving in the direction you're coming from, and he turns and he is surprised about what happened, or rather what he's heard and what he's hearing, and is totally willing to go to the church.
Okay, cool. Never mind.
In spite of his normal temperament, he seems perhaps a little shaken.
I want to try finding one of the ones of the guards that seems to be the most command, I suppose.
We should all stick together. Just for
Well, because I assume we were all starting to head towards the church.
Sasha
Yeah.
broke off to find Victor. Just he wasn't sure if Victor would.
And
Probably shouldn't go alone.
in the aftermath, while it almost escapes, the last of the vampire spawn is found, and instead of doing it as a combat, you find it as part of like a guard troop as well. So they like kind of mount up, and you're able to get in there as well. And it turns out trivial. There's technically one unaccounted for after this, but as you're looking around, it is found with its head cut off and like its chest like caved in and destroyed by one of the guards says it must have been somebody else. But they still like are careful.
People don't just cave in
Dealing.
these chests.
Okay, actually, one thing I'm going to do is, were any of the people who were killed by the vampires bitten?
I'm actually already on that too.
There can be a point where you are capable of like checking them.
Because if they're bitten, I'm gonna
Yeah,
just.
we're also
stick.
I'm also going to be telling all the guards, round up everyone that was bit.
Or actually, wait. So, was I able to double check that whether they turn or not?
Yes, and well, I said as far as you know, they don't.
Okay, then I will actually say these are merely spawn. They will not turn. Killing them would be cruel and pointless.
You are sure?
I am positive.
when we do go to the church or whatever.
So yeah, if there's anyone just wounded by vampire bites, I'll and if anyone's just like kill him, Sasha's gonna.
I was
be
talking
like,
more about the ones that were already dead.
There are a couple times where guards are a little concerned or a little confused about what exactly to do, that you're able to
Yeah, and Sasha's
input.
gonna go and be like,
And
No, I was talking more about the ones that are dead.
it's been hectic enough that like they're down for listening to you at least in the meantime.
And designating basically what we did with the first vampire spawn.
yeah.
Decapitate all the spawn, throw them in a heap, ignite them.
While the event does take its toll on the town's population, it is perhaps not as bad as it could have been.
It could have been so much worse.
Oh.
The dead are dealt with, people are shepherded and calmed to the best of their abilities.
I'll be healing anyone with my remaining spell slots.
And that is how the Festival of the Blazing Sun ends.
Fucking Christ.
And how our session ends. I continue to appreciate you joining us. My name is Artist Dave Harper. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram by that name. Closing thoughts before we get out of here, guys.
Well, first things first, that could have gone so much worse than it did. All things considered, they rolled some pretty bad attack rolls, some which really worked out to our benefit. Some people could have gotten bitten. Yeah, done a lot of damage. Also, Turn Undead is insanely useful. If you really want to do Curse of Strahd hard mode, don't bring Cleric.
Yep.
That's hard mode.
I suggest you bring a cleric.
You should bring Cleric though, seriously. You're just making it harder on yourself for no goddamn reason. Additionally, Tiny Servants is the best goddamn spell. I am so happy using it. It's so cool.
See,
it
is
cool. I just love swarming. I'm gonna start putting more spell slots into it because I don't really have any other combat spells at 3rd level, so definitely gonna raise more servants.
I love playing
The
like
fact
a
that they can
gnome
climb
that does
up
that.
walls and they can see invisible things, that's just awesome.
I can dig it. Anything you want to say? Before we head out?
Oh, wait,
No.
it wasn't done.
Well, you
Additionally,
already said a lot of stuff.
You can find me at Lights Camera Initiative, where I speak for most people, and you can find me on the Greyhawk channel. And I was just confirmed to be on RJ Cresswell's 2nd stream, which name has yet to be announced, but that's going to be pretty cool. Check that out, because I'll be there.
I don't really have anything to add or say. I had fun, and I totally didn't expect the place to get attacked by a bunch of vampires spawn. I really thought that Strahd would show up and showboat or some shit and cow the crowd into being a bunch of wusses or something.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, not exactly, but yeah.
Anything you want to share before we head out?
Yeah, it was fun in the fight, and we gotta rescue that guy from the mansion now, which means I need the key, which is probably on the mirror, so I have to find and steal from him.
Well, I
And,
mean, nobody's in there now. Could just
You want to break the door down?
and,
vampires did it.
Well, we can handle that
And
later.
let's see.
Same bat time. Same bat location.
Also, why is everyone such broke ass bitches in this?
You have to ask the person who wrote it. What about you, Ed?
Yeah, Chris.
So far, it's been fun. That was dealt with pretty well. I feel like.
We kicked
And
ass.
hey, what a coincidence with the choice of images and other
I
spells.
know, right?
What a coinky dink.
Lucky
I'm gonna make an image of Strahd.
y'all. Alright.
It wasn't a bad idea.
That
No, it
will be it for us. Until next time, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.